uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
Stand by, JP. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television here on a Monday night. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's update the score right now as Luke Raley has went yard. Now it is 3-0 Tampa Bay Rays. So they're on their way to 29-7. We'll see if they can close the Baltimore Orioles out, who, by the way, coming in tonight are 5.5 games out. Of course, the Rays take 2 out of 3 from the New York Yankees at home. How does that feel, Rays fans, huh? So how do we start off this show as we always do? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have J.P. Peterson of the J.P. Peterson Show coming on, talking about what else? Your Tampa Bay Rays, your Tampa Bay Bucs, maybe some Lightning talk. Of course, the schedule being released, and we have a date now, Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So we will be live on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. I'm not going to be live on Wednesday night. I got to take care of some business, so I will make up for it on Thursday night. And then at 9:30 tonight, we will have Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. So without further ado, once again, just to update the score, Rays up 3-0 over the Baltimore Orioles going into the bottom of the ninth. Let's go ahead and get this man on. Here we go. We got an intro for you here, JP. I think you're going to like this. J.P. Peterson of the J.P. Peterson Show, of course, Florida State graduate. Lightning Vision does some great things in the Bay Area. Has been doing, television sports for over 20 years. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How about these Rays right now?
Wow, another home run, my brother. Luke Raley goes deep. His 6th or 7th of the year now?
Yep.
Josh Lowe went deep tonight. McClanahan starts, didn't even have his best stuff, and shutting out a really good Orioles team. The magic just keeps continuing, brother. Just keeps continuing.
It really does. And coming into this game, 73 home runs, which leads Major League Baseball. They're leading in most major categories. In fact, looking at the numbers, I can't believe this, but the run differential is right up there with the 1902 Pirates. I mean, who would have seen this coming? I mean, the Rays, look, JP, you know this all too well. We've talked about it before. We felt like the Rays should spend more money on offense when it comes to that because they've always had their difficulties with scoring runs. But at the end of the day, they've always had the run prevention. They've always had the pitching, but this year it's different. Especially yesterday. Let's go back to yesterday. You get down 6-0, and this team never gives up. They really never give up, and they're really never out of the game.
Well, one of the great comebacks yesterday in franchise history. I mean, that was spectacular against Garrett Cole, who's just mowing them down through 5 innings, as good as it gets. And, the Rays picked up a little bit of something. He was sequencing the pitches the same way, and the second time through. So, Siri goes up there with a good plan, takes him yard. Christian Bethancourt takes him yard. I mean, that was a spectacular. What was he? 79-0 with 5 runs, 5 runs of run support.
Yeah.
But that's just. That it seems like every record, or every day they play, the Rays obliterate another record. I mean, it's unbelievable. You talk about a magical season. We've seen this before. This is 2008. Remember, I think they had something like 15 walk-off wins that year. It just seemed like every year, every game was another magical walk-off or something going on. This team's just got the mojo. It's funny, my co-host Nick Geddes just tweeted out something that he saw on the Fan today up in New York, Carton and his partner.
Yep.
And they said after, I don't know if you saw the little clip, it said, after watching the Rays all week, I came up with one thing. Okay, they must be cheating because my eyes don't trust what I'm watching. They can't be this good. These are a bunch of nobodies who are winning baseball games. And I'm like, come on, guys, cheating, really?
Well, I tell you what,
a little bit more homework. Come on.
Let's go out to that clip because I got that clip from Nick Geddes. Nice. I'm going to play it right now here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Stand by.
Playing stupid ball right now.
Yeah, and there's something suspicious about that, by the way.
Yeah, they're probably
very
cheating.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
But all I know is I'm a baseball fan. I know baseball. I like baseball. I was very skeptical with what I saw this weekend.
Yes, me too.
I have no evidence other than
journeyman outperforming the baseball card.
All of them. Christian Bethancourt. Hello. Taylor Wolves.
Yeah.
What? Because you know what we do? Most of us do. We don't know who they are, so we say, "Oh, the Rays are brilliant." Here's the problem. I know who they are. They're not good.
Yeah.
The Rays at 19-3 at home.
Yeah.
Hello. Is everybody going to wake up? Are you going to wake up when the article's written in The Athletic, or are you going to wake up now? Sometimes you don't need evidence. Sometimes you got to say what I'm watching doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I'll do it. I'm not a Yankee fan.
Okay,
I have no reason to say. I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm seeing in Tampa makes no sense.
No sense at all.
That's all.
No.
Well, it does make sense, gentlemen. Welcome back to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television because Bethancourt, the guy that you said wasn't any good, hit a 3-run home run yesterday. Uh-oh. Again, it's not just one player, but you have Wander Franco. You have Randy Arozarena, which, by the way, I don't know what you thought about Friday, and I get it. Randy's going to celebrate like Randy's going to celebrate, and there's people out there saying, man, it's the unwritten rules of baseball. You shouldn't be celebrating. You should be acting like, he's hit a home run before. That's Randy. But then the Yankees basically proceed to hit him twice on purpose. Right. And for some unknown reason, and nobody can explain this to me, the umpire gives a warning not only to the Yankees, but also to the Rays. Make some sense of that.
Well, that was just, before I get to that, I just have to go back to these knuckleheads.
Right.
Is this the first year you've seen the Rays play well? Right. They've been to the postseason for the last 4 years. They've won, I think, as many games as anybody in baseball in the last 8 to 10 years than I think only 3 other franchises in baseball. We know all the numbers, right? It's not the Rays didn't suddenly get good playing with a bunch of nobodies. They've been doing this for a while. Okay. So catch up, Mustard. It's been happening a while. And if you go look at all the players, there's nobody on this, save maybe a couple of guys with a little higher average than normal. There's nobody doing crazy stuff here. It's just they've got, 8 guys that have had 6 home runs or more. That's not having 6 home runs through a month and a half of the season is not wholly unusual, and certainly not unusual for Wander Franco. It's not unusual for Brandon Lau. It's not. Luke Raley's has been a power guy. They're playing well. The ball's juiced a little bit, and they've taken advantage. And I was talking about this on my show today. And I think if you really look at it, the Rays have done a great job of taking advantage of the new rules. Right? They're an extremely athletic team. It's one of the reasons they got rid of Choi. Right? They don't want anybody clogging up the bases. They don't want anybody who doesn't have range in the field because now you can't shift, right? So you need outfielders and infielders with great range, which they have. Their pitching has always been good, obviously. And by the way, are they cheating at pitching too? I know they're insinuating they're 19-3 at home, so they're banging on trash cans and they're getting signals or something, right?
Sure, they're like the Astros all over again, right?
So explain the pitching. Why is the pitching so good? Why are they number 1 in ERA and their relief course is number 3 in ERA?
Well, JP, didn't the umpire made Eflin the other day take off his ring because that was going to really affect his performance.
Yeah, right.
He's been lights out. I don't know what to make of it. I think there's a lot of people right now nationally just shaking their head at this point, but the Rays continue to get it done. We're on with JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show here on the Sports Web.
To get back
Yes.
To get back to that incident on Friday night, I'm glad Cash got thrown out because that was the most ridiculous thing ever. And by the way, the Yankees, why are you just – they're so – you get butthurt because Randy hits a home run. The place goes nuts because they're getting free beer. It's Randy Rosarena. It's Randy Land. It's Mexican night. Everybody knows this. Read the room a little bit. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of a celebration. All right, get over it, butthurt Yankees. They're so thin-skinned,
I know.
Okay, they're showing us up, so we're going to go hit their guy twice. And then they hit him, and everybody knows why they hit him except the freaking umpires. They're the only ones who didn't figure it out yet. When you hit him the first time, that's when you do the warning. But no, you give him a chance to hit him a second time because you didn't warn him the first time. And of course, Cash got thrown out because that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, what idiot umpiring crew did not know the Yankees were throwing at him in that situation?
And JP, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that is it right there. Your Tampa Bay Rays are now 29-7 as they defeat the Baltimore Orioles tonight 3-0 on the road, not at home. So what do you guys have to say now? The narrative's been thrown out there, JP, that this team can't beat any good teams. They have beaten the Pirates, they have beaten the Yankees, and now they have taken the first one, which, by the way, the Orioles coming into an incoming series, the first game, they're 11-0. Guess what? They're 11-1 now. So there you go. Rays win, Rays win, Rays win. We're on with JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show, which can be seen and heard here on Facebook and YouTube. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about, going back to what the Rays have done in attendance. And it hasn't been talked about besides maybe on Tuesday or a Thursday night, but usually on a Tuesday night. But overall, the attendance has turned around. You've been a big proponent of this, where ownership needed to lower ticket prices, need to do more. You're doing more with Randy Land. You're offering deals to the fans. It's about time, and this is probably why, JP, you're seeing this fan turnaround with fans basically showing up to the ballpark.
Yeah, shocking development.
Shocking. It's amazing.
Shocking development.
Amazing. It's like I have a steakhouse. It's called Blake's Well Done Steakhouse, and people make fun of me on this show. Like, you can't have steak well done because it tastes like rubber. Okay, so the people that are coming there they don't want well done steak, and I say, you know what? Because you don't want that, I'm going to continue to serve that. On top of it, I'm going to raise the prices. And I'm going to tell you how stupid you are. And guess what? My steakhouse isn't going to be in business for long because you can stick a fork in it like that steak. They're going to be done. The Rays essentially have been doing this the last 8 to 10 years to the fans. And there's goobers out there saying, well, the fans just show up. Just show up. No, you got to cater to the fans, JP, right?
Right, exactly. The soup Nazi is the only guy I've ever known that got away with that business model. Insult your clients, make them wait for the food, right?
Right.
Do everything you can to drive them away, but no soup for you. No baseball
no
for
soup for you. No baseball for you.
No cheap ticket for you.
Right.
No upper deck for you.
We're taking the team and going somewhere else, or going to Montreal for half the year when they're in the playoff chase. I just shake my head and my hair just gets grayer and grayer with trying to explain this nonsense to people of how Jeff Finnick and the Glazers, especially Jeff Finnick, you know this all too well. You work for Lightning Vision. They're the blueprint in this town. And at the end of the day, if the Rays aren't doing enough, which they've done it this year, so give them credit. Hopefully they continue. Hopefully Stu keeps his mouth shut and doesn't say anything about the stadium, because I think everybody will be better off for it.
No, of course. And, he hasn't done anything stupid this year. He hasn't said anything stupid. He hasn't insulted the fans. He's given them $10 tickets, right? And lowered the ticket prices across the board, done stuff like Randy Land. They've done a lot of stuff. Of course, they hired a marketing director from the Lightning, and that actually let him do his job. And look what happened. You actually market the team, got people show up. You don't insult these fan base, people show up. It's not. And I will say this: there have been a lot of other factors for the great attendance. Number one, they've had mostly weekend series, right? Mm-hmm. They've had a lot of weekend series. They're winning, and the Lightning aren't in the playoffs anymore, right? And you remember when the Lightning are in the playoffs, the Rays are just back page news until the Lightning are done. And the Lightning finished early this year, unfortunately. So that's helped the Rays. Having an amazing team has certainly helped the Rays. Marketing the team, not insulting the fans, that's all helped the Rays. And I think everybody knows that, whether the stadium's going to be in St. Petersburg, which would still be a huge mistake, or Tampa, that they're not going anywhere. I've been telling people this for decades, and I still read in the paper all the time. Well, finally, there was an article, I think, this week that finally acknowledged the fact that they're not leaving the marketplace, which, yes, folks, we've been telling you this on my show for 10 years. They have to pay a relocation fee of up to $1 billion. They're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. Or $500 million. They're not doing it. And Major League Baseball doesn't want to leave this market. So it's going to be Tampa or St. Petersburg. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people aren't raising hell about this whole negotiation of what the Braves are going to pay and what the public's going to pay for the stadium in St. Petersburg. And they're doing it all in secret. And they're going out of their way to do it in secret. They're circumventing sunshine laws in this state. That government's supposed to be doing these things out in the sunshine when they're meeting by doing these one-on-one meetings, and they're actually bragging about it. I don't get that. I mean, if I was a St. Petersburg constituent and taxpayer, I'd want to know what the hell's going on before they just come out and say, "Oh, we got a deal done," and then we'll give it a couple weeks for public comment and then ram it through. And then we're going to get stuck with a poorly located stadium. And he's going to sell the team and take all the money that he gets from St. Petersburg and laugh at all of you people and laugh all the way to the bank. And how you trust this guy in these negotiations, I have no idea. But
I don't either. And I feel like the deal would have got done in Tampa if
oh my God, yes.
if Stu would have came halfway. Again, we're on with JP Peterson.
Well, he's saying right now he's going to pay $600 million for half the stadium. Of course, he wants to keep the naming rights, right?
Sure.
Which would pay him probably about $300 to $400 million of that. So he says he's going to pay for half this stadium, which is going to be $600 million. If he'd have paid for the one in Ybor, it would have been $400 million, and it'd already be done, and we'd be playing in it. So what sense does that make?
Makes no sense. Speaking of sense, did you like the pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19? Kalijah Cansey.
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved this kid. I think offensive tackle was a need, but not as big a need as many thought, because the Bucs believe that either Gedeke or Hainsey can play right tackle. They also drafted a kid that's played some tackle as well in Malk. So they've got enough depth on this offensive line now. And Cansey, to me, was a player that was on the board that you just can't not take. I think in the modern NFL now, with quarterbacks as fast as they are, you need some quick twitch guys and big guys up front. And he's 280, but his athleticism is off the charts. His technique is off the charts. I love his attitude, comes from a military family. And just turn on the tape, man. Even at 280, he plays so low at 6'1", just like Aaron Donald. He gets under guys that are 310, 320 and moves them. And if he doesn't need them, and when they go to double team him, he gets low and anchors in. And he's hard to move. And he goes around guys in the interior. You can move him outside and let him work a little bit there. Any way you slice it, he's going to help your pass rush. Either taking the heat off JTS on the outside or Shaq Barrett. You're going to need to double team this guy inside because he's so freaking quick. So I love him. I think he's going to help the run defense, 32.5 tackles for loss. He gets in the backfield. He'll be able to chase down some of these faster, smaller quarterbacks. I think it's a great pick, and I think fans will eventually like it. I know it was a lot of who's this guy, but as soon as they said his name, I knew who he was. We didn't talk a lot about him,
right?
Because we didn't think they was going D tackle. But when he was on the board, he was the best. I think he was the best player on the board, and that's who the Bucs took. I think it's a great pick.
I think it's a great pick too. And even he said he didn't know the Bucs were going to take him. So that's an astute front office. At the end of the day, Jason Light and company know
subterfuge.
They know what they're doing, and people just have to have faith. At the end of the day, speaking of not having faith, Peter King has ranked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 31. I mean, come on now, JP. I get it. You lose Tom Brady, but is there a certain possibility here without Brady that this team could actually be better because there is no distractions? God. And there still is. Yes. I don't know. There's talent on this team still.
How do you rank a team that has 11 Pro Bowlers on it?
Right,
11.
Right.
11 Pro Bowlers on it. The second worst team because Tom Brady left. I'm sorry to tell you this, Peter King, but your beloved Tom Brady was the reason they lost 10 games last year. Not the whole reason, but he was big part of the problem. The offense scored 18 points a game. It was pathetic. You want to blame Byron Leftwich, that's fine. You want to blame Tom Brady. They were all part of it. They were all guilty. Todd Bowles was guilty of it because he didn't fire Leftwich, who wasn't doing what he was telling him to do. So, yes, Baker, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is better quarterback than Tom Brady, but he's better this year. He would be better. He would have been better last year because Tom Brady was not the Tom Brady of old. As we all know, we don't need to rehash that. But this team, I'm telling you, their offense. Now, Dave Canales, we don't know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a good, he comes from a good pedigree in Seattle. He's learned from some good people. We'll see what he puts together. But this offense is going to be so much easier on the offensive line because they don't have a statue back there. And even though Brady got rid of the ball quick, that wasn't effective offense. If he's throwing the ball in the dirt, what good is it? If he's not letting plays develop down the field, you can't get a varied passing game going. And plus, you had no everything was so predictable, right? They knew when they were going to run. They knew when they were going to pass. We knew it, right? So the offensive linemen really had no chance. I think they got a little bit maligned last year. So I think the offensive line will be fine this year. You're going to have a lot of play action. You're going to have a lot of waggle. You're going to have a lot of rollouts, a lot of bootlegs, quarterbacks on the move, and that helps your offensive line in the run game and the pass game. So I guarantee you the offense is going to be better. And with all the money they spent on this defense, that better be better as well because Jamel Dean, they bring back Lamonte David. They're paying Vita Vea. They're paying Shaq Barrett. They draft Cansey. They draft a couple other defensive players. Bowles better get this defense playing well against the good teams, and I think they did a lot to help their pass rush this year.
And I think that was the main objective coming in this draft. They've gotten younger. They've gotten faster. There's lots of potential at the end of the day, potential being, the most overly used word in sports, but you have to get younger on defense. You have to get better, especially if that is your staple, and you also have to take the pressure off of a Vita Vea, and I think Cansey and others will do that. Let me read these comments from Bruce Arians and Care Pewter Report. I can say out of these 4 top quarterbacks, I had Baker rated higher. That's an honest opinion. Coming out of Oklahoma, that's not chopped liver. He had a tough time playing hurt, and things didn't work out in Cleveland. Does that give you more confidence? Or do you have more? Because I was asking Bucs fans this. When BA is coming out and people are saying, well, BA hasn't done anything. Whoa. Wait a minute. He's quarterback whisperer. He worked with Ben Roethlisberger and Peyton Manning and got the best out of Carson Palmer. And let's face it, the first 2 years with Tom Brady, MVP type of level. Hate to tell the NFL voters out there, even though they gave Aaron Rodgers the MVP vote. Most likely one of those years should have been Brady. But more confidence with BA coming out and talking about, Baker like this?
No, I agree with him. I mean, just go look at the tape. When he had a good team and a good coaching staff, and good offensive coordinator and Todd Monken, they had 27 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, 6 or 8 interceptions. Yeah, it took them to the playoffs. They won a playoff game. Yeah, and last year he was hurt. Or 2 years ago. And last year with the whole Matt Rule thing in Carolina, I just throw that out. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Sure.
So look, the kid's got arm strength. He can move around. Look what he did in LA when he got there. Like the first week, he leads 2 fourth-quarter drives to come back and win a game. I think the next week he had 5 touchdown passes, and he didn't even know the playbook. I mean, get a whole season and with a tandem of receivers like Mike Evans and 100% Chris Godwin and a Russell Gage that's coming back. Hopefully, will be healthy. They've added a couple players to the receivers list as well. This Trey Palmer kid's got some wheels, some 4.3 speed. They drafted tight end. The running game, I think, is going to be markedly better. Yeah, this offense is going to be better. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a decent year. I really do.
Yeah, I really do too. And again, I just go back to it. I feel like you also have mobility with him, and there's the potential, right? I mean, this is the reason why you pick him up in the first place. He's not going to cost you that much. $4.5 million, former first-round pick overall in 2018. With that being said, it continues there's continued reports out there to link Ezekiel Elliott to the Bucs. In fact, this is from ESPN saying, what may prevent this is basically the Bucs don't have the money, but the Bucs are still looking for a number 2 running back. So how would you feel about, Ezekiel Elliott being in a Bucs uniform if he took less money? Do you think there's still value there, especially when it comes to the short yardage situation? or are you running with the Keyshawn Vaughn and Rashard White and what you have in that room, even a Chase Edmonds?
Yeah, I think their room's good right now.
Okay.
To be honest with you, and they the kid they brought in from Syracuse, his name's forgetting his name right now. Sean Tucker.
Yes.
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
This kid's got a hell of a resume. I mean, if his heart ailment is okay, which they think it is right now, then I think you're okay. I don't know. It seems like you're bringing in a pretty big personality to a room like that, and I think that's going to really kind of short circuit Rashad White, who I think is a really, really good runner. I think we have just scratched the surface with him. As I said, with a more open offense where they're using all the field and wackles and bootlegs, you're going to get him in some much better open space. You can with the RPOs, those linebackers are going to have to wait to see if it's a pass or a run. Put that conflict in your mind. I don't think it's a great fit. Look, if they do it and it's low money, he's a hell of a pass blocker. He's great in the pass game. He can get you short yards. I don't have a huge problem with it, but I don't think it's a need.
Yeah, I don't think it's a need either, but I think it would be more of a possibility if Tom Brady will still here, because that's the type of player that you would want. It's a name player. He can contribute, but right now I just don't see that happening. I don't understand why he continues to be linked. I could see him going to maybe the Philadelphia Eagles or even re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys, because at the end of the day, JP, ever since Zeke has gotten that big-time extension, he has been a shell of himself. In fact, his yards per carry have basically gone down. Final question here. Gerald McCoy retires. I asked the great TJ Reeves about this, if he belongs in the Ring of Honor. He said, unequivocally, he absolutely does. The effort he put out there, even though with the losing seasons, he didn't have a lot around him. Where do you stand on Gerald McCoy in the Ring of Honor?
I think 6 Pro Bowls, which I believe is the number that he made.
Correct.
Number 3 overall pick. I covered him. I covered those losing teams. He wasn't the problem, right? He was the best player on the team and had very, very little help around him. So it's hard to blame him for being a bad leader when you had a bad franchise. So I think he belongs in the Ring of Honor. I think that's an incredible amount of Pro Bowls and didn't have a whole lot of help. I think he belongs in the Ring of Honor. I would agree with the great TJ Reeves.
And I definitely agree with him. Really quick, the schedule is going to be released on Thursday night. Do you think that the NFL will shut out the Bucs on prime time? Because this is the first year they can do that. And I couldn't believe that, but that's actually a rule. And I think that's the Denver Bronco rule from last year, because every time you watch the primetime game, the Broncos were on it, and they were completely awful. So in your opinion, do you think the Bucs get shut out of primetime? And then we'll end it off with that.
Well, I think, unfortunately, what Peter King's perception of the Bucs is probably the national perception. And there's just I don't think they see a team that has a lot of stars to necessarily promote, even though, we think Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer. We think Chris Godwin's a top 5-7 receiver in this league. We think all those things. There's just, with Brady gone, I don't think they see a lot of pizzazz, a lot of sell with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be a surprise team. And I think there's a better chance that they get flexed into primetime games than getting any scheduled. I think they'll probably get one, though. I think they'll get a Thursday night game.
I mean, it has to be the throwback one, because everybody's talking about creamsicle, and it seems like we've been waiting for the last 10 years for it. It hasn't been that long, but in fans' eyes, it has. JP Peterson, go ahead and promote yourself here on The Evolution.
Yeah, guys, come listen to our show. We're live every day from 10 to 12. You can listen to us live on Twitter, on our YouTube page. Also, we're on RHS TV, Red House Streaming TV. You can download that app on your Amazon Fire, your Apple TV, whatever you use. If you have a streaming service, you can download that RHS TV, and you can watch the replays on there. We're also obviously on Twitter, and we have our app, FanStream Sports. Download the app, and you can listen to the show anytime, anywhere. So lots of different ways to check it out. We're also on podcasts on Apple and Spotify, so go subscribe there. For our money, it's a pretty good 2 hours of Tampa Bay sports. Myself and Nick Geddes each and every day. We take you through it all. So hope you can join us.
Absolutely.
But tomorrow,
yes,
we got Scott Reynolds coming on tomorrow, and also Denard Span, the Rays' new analyst and former major leaguer. So
big
show tomorrow.
Big show tomorrow. JP Peterson Show, 10 to 12 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Sports Web, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Peter. Love your show, brother. Great job.
Hey, man, love your show too, man. It gets me through the day. Really does.
You got it.
All right, man. There you go. And he was out there traveling, and I said, can you give me some time? And he gave me 30 minutes. So that's awesome by JP. We got Jason Powers coming on here in just a moment. Want to read these comments really quick. Jason, stand by. Of course, let's update the night here as the Tampa Bay Rays have beaten the Baltimore Orioles 3-0, 29-7. I mean, when is that narrative going to end that the Rays can't beat good teams? When is that narrative going to end that maybe we could be witnessing something that's amazing at the end of the day? So I want to update this right here and also tell you the phone lines are going to be open. Let me just go ahead and produce while we're doing it. There we go. Right there. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Tell you what, we're going to go ahead and go out to Powers on Sports Podcast. Mr. Jason Powers, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How you doing there? Superstar, being on Spectrum Sports there with the great Roy Cummins. What's going on tonight? How about those Rays, huh?
What's going on, Peter Blake? Another W in the books.
Well, and I tell you right now, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to continue to say this team can't beat the best in Major League Baseball because the last couple of weeks they have shown, in fact, the last 11, they're 9-2. I want to go out to these comments really quick. Let's read these comments together. Let's see if we can get something out of them, unless they're just trolling us. And then we'll get into more Rays talk and more Bucs talk. And, of course, I didn't ask JP about the Lightning, but we can talk about that also. Let's go out to Troy here. Says first, Eric says, what's going on, Peter Blake? How you doing, Eric?
Yeah.
Let's go out to Eric. Looks like the Rays win again. Number 29 coming soon. Absolutely. Good comment. Red Hot Rays still looking great. Zach Mitchell, Chicago Blackhawks get the number 1 pick. Connor Bedard is the new face of the franchise. 18 years old, 71 goals. Big for them. The last time the Chicago Blackhawks had the number 1 pick was when?
07, Patrick Kane.
And they went on to win 3 Stanley Cups. So good for them. Good stuff there, Zach. Thanks a lot for the comment. As we try to talk hockey on this show, too. A Rays Land time party. I'm always first, Troy. Know your role. Roger again. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Eric says, go Rays. Absolutely, Eric. I feel great. Christopher Cole. Hey, guys. Roger again. Where's the Greek? No Greek tonight. You got Jason Powers. You got JP Peterson before. What's going on, Christopher Cole? Once again, says Eric. Let's go on to Roger Chu. Acknowledge the Greekites. We shall. And then you'll get this.
This guy sucks.
Let's go on to Troy. Baseball's rigged like the NFL. Major League Baseball is rigging the Rays to make it to the World Series so they can attract more fans and use the extra money and media attention to help them lure a new stadium. What do you think of this nonsense from Troy? You want to comment on it? Go ahead. Throw them back if you want to.
Are you? I just wanted. I know we've had some spirited debates over the years about the ownership. What do you got to say now?
I would say that the ownership, like I told JP before, is finally giving back to the Rays fans, lowering the ticket prices, having Randy Land. So they are there, and they actually hired somebody from the Tampa Bay Lightning to do their PR, which was genius on their part. Lo and behold, the attendance is up. Why? Because they're doing everything they can to cater to the fan.
Well, I would say the attendance is up because they're historically doing super well right now. But yeah, I mean,
come on, Jason Powers.
No, you're the one that's killed the ownership the whole time. I've always been the one to say, give them credit. They've always put a winning product on the field.
I give them credit, but I think they could do more in the grand scheme of things when it goes to spending more money, at least spending over $100 million, making the big move at the trading deadline. I think that's
tried the last couple of years. Like we talked about, they've made some moves at the deadline last year. It didn't culminate in a world championship, but they did make some moves. You can't deny that.
They need to do it every year. They need to go all in. That extra bat, that extra pitcher would definitely pay off in the long run. Just got back on a flight from Richmond. Welcome to the Evolution.
yeah.
Let's go out to Troy. Greek is not here tonight. His bedtime is at 7. That's actually pretty fun.
Flawless victory.
Let's go out to KR. Evening, guys. What's going on, KR? Actually, Kevin here won the fan mock draft where we pick fans out and they selected their favorite team, or he picked for the Carolina Panthers and said Bryce Young was going to be the first round pick. Of course he was. And now he gets lunch on the sports web. How about that?
Boy, that was a tough call there.
I mean, I threw it out there on Facebook, Jason Powers, and nobody took it besides Kevin. So good for Kevin at the end of the
Where are you taking him to lunch at?
I mean, I'm going to try to figure out. Most likely it'll be chicken wings. I don't think it's going to be steak, but maybe some chicken wings. Maybe have a chicken wing day, if you will, here on the sports web. I'm buying. Everybody's thinking, oh, he's cheap. I'm buying for you guys. I'll buy for him. You're invited.
You're going to buy me lunch one of these days.
You're invited. You're absolutely invited.
There you go. I like it.
Raw is on. Roger Shue says the Rays are all on steroids. Once again, nonsense.
This guy sucks.
Mickey says, hey, everyone, what's going on? Mickey Cheater says Roger Shue.
Shitter!
Mickey says, wait till the Rays play the Mariners. I'm waiting. Christopher Cole says, I was fixing to say something about that, but how about the road record now? 10-4. We'll read the rest of these comments and then we'll go to our race talk. But there are a lot more baseball to play. So everyone in Tampa, just keep your pants on. We shall. Peter King is right. He knows our head coach has a brain of stone. Roger Shue says, I agree. Troy, bear down. Roger again. Bucs are trash. Troy, we could have got Gardner Minshew, but instead we got the immature buffoon Baker. Zeke not taking less money. Roger, where is Harry and
Yes,
Tampa
Zeke.
Bay?
Yes, Zeke is. Zeke ain't going anywhere for more than about $3 million.
Well, I mean, and a lot of people talking about him being in Tampa. We'll get back to that in a moment. Dave says Zeke would be a wrong move. Roger says Bears will destroy the Bucs this season. Roger again, go Cubs go. And KR says, yes, sir. And for the go Cubs go, even though I grew up as a Cubs fan, once again, you're trolling Roger Shue, so this is what you get.
This guy sucks.
Give me your overall impressions of this Tampa Bay Rays team. I mean, a hot start. They continue this hot start. Talk about them a little bit, especially their win tonight over the Baltimore Orioles, 3-0.
They're doing a great job. They're bankrolling all these wins in April and May, and they're good. There's going to be a streak in at some point where 8 or 10 games they're going to go 3-7, or 4. They're going to lose 8 out of 12, something like that. That's coming. It happens for virtually every team, virtually every year. So the more these wins you bankroll now, the more cushion you're going to have. If you look at the NL East, AL East, they're already up 6.5 games over second place. You're already up 10.5 over the Yankees. So I mean, you're in a great spot. Just keep playing well. They've not really been hit by the injury bug with the batters yet. They've had some pitching issues, which make you nervous a little bit. But you do have Tyler Glass now still coming back here in a couple weeks at some point, which that should help. But again, full credit to Neander and crew and Kevin Cash for their finding ways to win. Again, Sunday's win was probably the best win of the year, down 6-0 to Garrett Cole. You come all the way back to win the game. So give them all the credit in the world. They're playing great.
How surprised were you by that victory on Sunday? You're down 6-0 against Garrett Cole. He's probably their best pitcher on the staff, and he's been their saving grace. And once again, we always knew that the Rays had the pitching, they had the run prevention and defense. What we didn't know coming into this year, and we talked about it, we debated about it. I thought they should have spent more money to go out and get it back. Guess what? I was wrong. Everything they've done so far has worked out. So, how surprised are you by this offense early, and how surprised were you that they came back and beat the Yankees down 6-0 on Sunday?
I mean, you can't expect to be down 6-0 at Cole and come back and win. So that's probably a 1 out of every 20 game situation where that situation would happen. So it was, I mean, give them all the credit. They did it, but that's not something if you were sitting in that building Sunday, you weren't thinking bottom of the 5th down 6-0. Oh yeah, we're in this thing, no doubt. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Give them all the credit in the world to get the game to extra innings, and then obviously they win the game in extra innings. And again, the hitting, the home run production is what's most surprising to me. Not that we're hitting the ball and scoring a lot of runs. It's the consistent home run production throughout the lineup. It's not 1 or 2 guys. It's 6 or 7 guys that are being very consistent with the home runs. And again, is that going to sustain itself through 162 games? No. There's, like I said, there's going to be a 2-week period where they're going to struggle to hit the ball, and they're going to be struggling to pitch the ball at times too. So it's just a matter of minimizing how long those droughts last. And again, they're clearly the best team in Major League Baseball. There's no doubt. Can they stay healthy enough to do it? And can the guys that are producing continue? They don't have to be tremendous all year, but they can be consistent throughout most of the year.
All right. Let me go out to this comment here. KR
How many games have you been to, Peter Blake?
I need to go to some.
I mean, come on, dog.
I mean, I've been working over the weekends. I need to get out there. I'm thinking we definitely need.
Make it a tag team effort.
Right. Absolutely. I don't know what is going on here with this other comment, but I am just going to go ahead and avoid that comment. And then TJ Reeves right here, two of my faves, breaking it down. Thank you very much, Mr. TJ Reeves. With that being said, Shane McClanahan, I mean, he's already got to be in the all-star conversation, right? I mean,
it's easy. It's May. It's
7-0. Whoa. 7-0. 176 ERA. And again, I feel like he's been through starts where you haven't necessarily,
stay healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's able to stay healthy, but he hasn't had his best stuff every game. Tonight, case in point, 4 walks, 7 Ks, only goes 6 innings, career high, I think 102 pitches. To me, he's already in that conversation if he can get
sure.
Okay.
He's an ace. Oh, there's no doubt. He's an ace. Again, you want to can he stay healthy? And again, the beautiful thing about Shane McClanahan, he was an unheralded guy, kind of a University of South Florida guy. So he's local product, which is great. 2 years ago, most people didn't know who Shane McClanahan was. Give him all the credit in the world. He is a dynamic left-handed pitcher. We know lefties always tend to be the ones that are the most difficult to hit. If you got a great left-handed pitcher, he can throw for power. He's precise. So, there's no doubt he's on his way to being the starter in the All-Star game, but you got to stay healthy.
Yeah, you definitely got to stay healthy, and that's going to be the big-time key. And, of course, it looks like they're going to get back a pitcher who's escaping me right now.
Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, Tyler Glasnow, who has not been able to basically stay healthy the last couple of years. I think that's definitely going to help their pitching staff at the end of the day.
Here's one thing I'll give Kevin Cash credit for this year so far. Yep. It seems like he's not been as robotic with the analytics as far as taking guys out of the game. He's letting guys go a little bit longer, it seems like. Again, is he going crazy with it? No, but he's letting guys pitch through the lineup at least twice, going into that third time. If a guy's dealing, he's leaving him in the game a little bit longer than he normally would in years past. So I like that, what he's doing. Keep that up, Kevin. If the guy manage with your eyes as much as you manage with the paper. Manage with your eyes. You're a former catcher. You know better. Manage with your eyes.
All right. Manage with your eyes. They're the great Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. We also do, if you like the Bucs, because we talk Bucs on this channel, but on the Buck Power Podcast Network, we do a podcast called The No Quarter Given. We're getting ready to do some draft. I mean, let's switch gears there. What did you think of the overall draft? I mean, were you surprised by Cansey being the pick there at 19? And really, this Bucs team overall, they really focused on speed, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Were you surprised?
What I liked with Jason Light, it was not a sexy draft in the names of a quarterback or a big-time receiver, a first-round receiver. It was a meat-and-potatoes draft, and they needed to replenish the defensive side of the ball. You can never have enough good defensive linemen. You can never have enough pass rushers. So I liked it. I didn't know much about Kalijah Cansey, to be honest with you, going in. But again, everybody said he was the best interior rusher in this draft. So I give him – we needed that. You need some help for Vita Vea. Whether it's interior rush or if it's on the edge, you needed to improve the pass rush, and we hope this does. You took a couple chances on some outside pass rushers in the 4th and 5th round. The kid from Louisville, Diaby, I think his name was.
Yes.
A lot of people think Yeah, I mean, so again, good meat and potatoes draft. You draft another lineman with the 2nd round pick, Cody Mauch. Again, back into the light of Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa from a smaller school, FCS, North Dakota State. Obviously, we all know North Dakota State has a lot of history in college football, good history, good players that come out of that program. But again, replenish the trenches. What is the team Philadelphia? What are they known for? The trenches. You got to be able to pass protect, rush the passer, and establish a running game. You have a new offensive system coming in, new philosophy of more of a power running game. Dave Canales. You can't have enough linemen, good linemen. We'll figure out which are the best 5. I know there's debates on who's going to play what positions. We think Tristan's going to the left tackle, but from the right guard, right tackle position, we don't know who's going to be the starter. You can't have enough good guys. So load the wagon with as many good offensive and defensive linemen as you can. I like the sneaky good pick of Trey Palmer late in the draft, speed guy from Nebraska. We needed some speed at wide receiver, so I like that pick too.
Yeah, we learned from the great Luke Easterling on Sports. Does a great job. Has done a great job for so many years. Mention him because look, Jason Light has a propensity, Leo word, of drafting Nebraska guys, and of course he's from Nebraska. He has speed, so we'll see if that can pay off at the end of the day and possibly replace Scotty Miller and be better than
bigger guy. He's
right.
a much bigger guy.
Right, and hopefully the route tree is a lot more, is a lot better, if you will. But I got to give you credit because if you go back to the previous podcast, you were the guy that said, you know what? You move on from Donovan Smith, you go with Tristan Wirfs at the left side, and then thinking about it, Jason Powers, my tag team partner of the world, going with Luke Gedeke on the right side because Gedeke's natural spot is right tackle. When you put him in there last year, he showed some flashes of brilliance, and if I'm Jason Light, I'm not giving up on a second-round pick. So to me, it didn't make any sense.
No, it's year 2. It's year 2.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. So Gedeke at the right side seems like I think that's going to happen now.
And you got enough interior guard play. You got Leverett. You got Cody Malk, who's going to come in and compete. You got who the other guy am I thinking of that played guard last year? Hainsey can play guard. So you have some options at guard that you don't have to plug Gedeke, who maybe wasn't as comfortable as guard. He might be more. I mean, he's clearly been a college tackle. He played late in the year at tackle there in the Atlanta game, last game of the year. He's a second-round draft pick. You obviously think highly of him. You took him in the second round. He wasn't terrible last year. Was he an all-pro? No. But he wasn't terrible even at guard. So put him in a spot that you know he's going to be a little more comfortable. Again, moving Tristan Wirfs to the left side. If you're going to pay Tristan $22 million, he needs to be the left tackle, not the right tackle.
Yeah, and I don't care how much money you got to pay the guy at the end of the day. He's one of the best offensive tackles, one of the best linemen on this team, one of the best linemen in the league. Pay the man. TJ Reeves says Gedeke natural position is right tackle. Absolutely, TJ again. Mock and Hainsey play tackle in college. And lots of competition, and that's never a bad thing at the end of the day, especially with the injury situation. And I feel like, look, at the end of the day, your line gets better with the subtraction of Donovan Smith. I don't care if he goes to Kansas City. To me, he's a human turnstile, in my opinion. And
wait a minute now. I'll say this. Donovan had a pretty good career for 8 years. He didn't play as well last year.
Great year at 2020, winning the Super Bowl. Ever since he had that year, he has regressed. His technique has gotten worse, and that's where the line. And I think it's
part of it's the system, though. Part of it was the exposure of the lack of a running game,
or maybe just the want to at the end of the day. And I think you can compare both of these players, Donovan Smith and Devin White, right? Both great years in 2020. I think Devin has been inconsistent, like Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith finally shows you why you draft him as a premium pick in the first place, and then ever since then, he's taken a step back, much like Devin White. And it kind of makes me think maybe Todd Bowles was talking about Devin White and also Donovan Smith. What do you make of the Devin White situation? Do you think this is going to be a distraction going forward for this team?
No, because the Bucs have all the leverage here. If Devin White ain't going anywhere, he's not going to sit out and hold out. He's going to collect his $11 million. The Bucs like him. I don't think this has anything to do with the Bucs not wanting to move forward with Devin White in the future. If Devin White has a good year, they're going to pay Devin White. There's no doubt about it. He's more part of the solution than he is part of the problem. Sure, is he great in all facets of the game? No, but he's a very good run defender, very good blitzer. He's a very good 3-4 linebacker. again, we'll see how much he's worth. Is he worth $20 million? I don't know if any linebacker's worth $20 million that plays on the inside. Hard to pay a guy $20 million who's playing interior linebacker that's not a designated pass rusher. That's just the bottom line, the economics of football. So Devin White, he's gonna play. He's making $11 million. He's not gonna not play. And we're gonna see what Devin White, can he keep progressing?
Do you have a problem with him being a captain for this team with some of the actions that
No.
I think there's a lot of fans out there to look at him and say, why are you interacting with Philadelphia Eagles players? And I get it. They do that. Greedy Williams is on the Philadelphia Eagles. Fans say, this is not good. This is not a good look at the end of the day. Do you have a problem if the Bucs do make him a defensive captain for doing that with all this?
Players are going to vote on it.
Okay.
Remember, player captains are not, that's not Jason Light and Todd Bowles picking the captains. That's typically a player run deal where the captains get picked by the players in a vote, typically. Okay. Again, who knows? We'll see who the captains are. He's been a captain. Could he not be a captain? Wasn't Mike Evans a captain and maybe not a captain last year? One of those guys was a captain 2 years ago, maybe wasn't a captain last year on the offensive side. I can't remember who. That's not going to, whether he's a captain or not, is that going to affect how much he talks? I don't think so.
All right. That's fine. That's
if he's a captain and if he doesn't perform, then he won't be on the team a year from now. Or again, remember, the Bucs can franchise him.
Absolutely.
The Bucs still have all the leverage. Even if he has another good year and they still don't want to pay him, they can still franchise him another year and he'll make 14 or 15 million bucks, whatever it is.
Right. It's champagne money, according to his linebacking coach, Larry.
Which it is.
Right. We got Mr. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum Sports there. Definitely tune in. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web. Open phone lines if you want to talk to us, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Roger.
Are you Peter Blake?
Yes.
Are you Peter Blake?
Yes.
Were you disappointed in the Bucs for not taking a quarterback? Round two. When round two, when Hendon Hooker was there?
No, because I tell you right now, at the end of the day, they seem like they have something with Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. I'm not necessarily the biggest Trask fan because he's only had 9 snaps. Although you look at it at the end of the day, he's going to be learning a new offense. I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's got lots of potential, and I could see the second half of the year when he got good coaching around him, and then you pair him with Dave Canales, who did some great things with Geno Smith. I feel like you can do the same thing with Baker Mayfield in this offense. I do. I like Baker Mayfield.
Dave Canales has never called a play now. Remember that. He didn't call plays in Seattle.
That's true, but he did turn around a guy that basically was a journeyman quarterback for how many years there, Jason Powers? I'm just saying.
Geno played well. We'll give Geno his credit. He played well last year. Was that a product of the people around him? We don't know. Again, I have full confidence. I think it's going to be a new offensive philosophy. I think Kyle Trask is going to surprise a lot of people.
You may be right about that. I want to get to the BA comments on Baker Mayfield, but let me go out to these comments really quick. Roger says AEW has now sold 65,000 tickets for Wembley Stadium in London. Amazing for them. Troy says, Peter, do you think O.J. Simpson's Lawyers will go down as the greatest defense in NFL history?
Yes.
Flawless victory.
I tell you right now, Troy, sometimes you do surprise me there with some of the things you have. Devin White put out a cryptic message on social media tonight about being knocked down and that he's gotten up and ready to prove himself. So good. I hope he's got a chip on his shoulder. We know that Devin White's going to put out cryptic messages, and we expect that. And it's good for sports talk shows like this at the end of the day.
I want to see Devin White play hungry. Hungry, Devin White.
Yes, get live 45, and we know he can do that because he did that in the 2020 season, especially the postseason, where he basically took over the game against the Saints. That is a $100 million player.
But I will say this. Here's one thing you have to understand back 2 years ago. Sure. Who did Devin White have playing in front of him a couple of years ago?
It's a fair
Vea and Sue playing elite level defensive tackle, which really opened up lanes for him and Levante David to navigate around the defense to make plays. Last year, they did not have nearly the push with Akeem Hicks and the production in the middle. So, again, I'm not going to kill again, we saw the videotape of him loafing at times, and that's not acceptable. But to be fair, he didn't have a ton of help on the defensive line last year like he did a couple of years ago. We have to be fair about that.
It's a fair assessment, and you're right. Sue and Vea is definitely different from Hakeem Hicks, who couldn't stay healthy, and
Golston, and they're good players. But
good.
Sue and Vea, when they were in the Super Bowl year, they were elite, unblockable.
They were absolutely elite. All right, let's go out to Roger. Why is Testaverde not in the Ring of Honor?
Because he only played 5 years in Tampa. That's why.
And he did nothing of consequence at all, Roger. Peter B. hating on Gerald McCoy. Are you Antonio Brown now? It sounds like you are. Always questioning if he belongs in the Ring of Honor when real Bucs fans know we know he does without a second thought. I question everything on this show. Jason Powers knows it. TJ Reeves knows it. But if you look at the statistics, the numbers at the end of the day, playing in the era that he did, whether it was losing or not, he is one of those best players in the era. James Wilder is one of the best players.
Yep.
Hardy Nickerson is one of those best players. In my opinion, Warwick Dunn, no matter how long. Because look, if you're going to put Tom Brady in the Ring of Honor, which you're going to have to do because he won a Super Bowl, you should put in Warwick Dunn, not only for what he did on the field, but off the field. Come on, Jason Powers. You're a Florida State guy. Am I really?
I love Warwick Dunn as a football player, but you can't play for and again, unless you win a Super Bowl, i.e. Tom Brady, he's going in the Ring of Honor, no doubt about it, because he changed the entire plight of the franchise. Warwick Dunn was a great contributor, a great piece, but I don't know if you can put him in the Ring of Honor as an all-time Buccaneer great. Really good player, and I love Warwick, and I wish the Bucs would have kept Warwick. If he'd have been here more than, 5 years, I think? 5 years?
97, and then, of course, he goes the Super Bowl year where Gruden picks up Mike Pittman, which wasn't a bad pick.
But I don't love kept Warwick Dunn around. He was a hell of a player.
Right.
But I don't know if you can put him in the Ring of Honor for only being here for 5 years.
Well, he did come back.
Without a Super Bowl.
Right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. No to McCoy, says Roger Shue. Troy says Brady ain't no Bucs legend. Troy,
This guy sucks.
shut up. Roger says no to Dunn also.
Really good player.
I still say with the stuff he did off the field also it should count. But it's neither here nor there. It's not my decision. It's the Buccaneer.
And I'll say this. Part of the reason James Wilder might not be in the Ring of Honor yet is because some of the stuff off the field.
Well,
he has a little bit of a check. He has a little bit of a some issue. He's had some issues off the field.
Right. So you're agreeing with me then?
Well, no, that could be a negative. He's got the on-field credentials with the longevity and the production.
Right.
But some of the off-the-field stuff might be a reason why he's not been put into the Ring of Honor yet.
So basically, if you had Warwick Dunn's off the field and James Wilder's on the field, you'd have the perfect player in the Ring of Honor. But yet you don't have that. All right, let's go out to Bruce Arians. Had this to say, I can say out of all these 4 top quarterbacks, I had Baker rated higher. That's an honest opinion. Coming out of Oklahoma, that's not chopped liver. He had a tough time playing hurt, and things didn't work out in Cleveland. Does that give you more confidence that you say, I'll tell you what, let's hold off on that. Let's go out to the tribal troll here from Newport.
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Roger Shue, you're on with yours truly, along with Powers on Sports Podcast, Mr. Jason Powers. Go ahead.
Greek guy checking in.
All right,
what's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's up?
Great show, man. Great show so far.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now I got to go Greek guide on you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Trask. Amen.
Okay. And this is what they do. This is a Greek guy right here. He's in a little cult. They have a little cult. They do a little meeting there out in Newport Richie under the bridge and say their
No, it's at the Sponge Dots.
Okay. Well, whatever it is. What do you want? What do you want there, troll?
Hey, you're welcome for the $20 super chat, you putz.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Acknowledge me.
I acknowledged you. There you go.
Acknowledge me.
Yes, go ahead.
No, that was it, man. I just wanted to say great show and keep up the good work. And I hope you come on more often, man. I need the sports web 7 days a week.
Well, I need super chats 7 days a week. I need Facebook stars 7 days a week.
Roger, I got a question for Roger.
All right, go ahead,
what's
Jason.
up?
Go ahead.
I'm a native of Tampa here, and this is a bad thing to admit. I've never been to the Sponge Docks in Tarpon Springs. Should I go? What's
Oh my God!
I've never been either.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say I've never been there, and I've never been to Disney World. And I know there's a lot of people that's going to kill me for that, but it has not happened. We need to get out there to Disney World.
The Sponge Docks are beautiful. Isn't that a lot of restaurants right there? Give me the lay of the land there.
The shopping is great. The restaurants are world class. Amazing food.
Okay.
I need to take a lady friend out there, huh?
Peter, how are you 55 years old and never been to Disney?
Mark, I'm not 55 years old.
Shut up!
You're older
That
than me,
beard
and
says otherwise.
He just looks it. He just looks it on TV, huh?
Whatever. It's the wise look right now with the grade. You're giving me
All right,
grade.
so Peter,
Yes.
I'm planning on going to Disney for my birthday in November.
Okay.
I'm going to kidnap you and bring you with me, just so you can go and experience it once before you croak.
All right. That sounds like a plan. Just don't do the kidnapping to Disney. That just sounds bad, and we may get kicked out of Facebook for that. But thanks a lot for the offer.
That would be cool.
No, it wouldn't be cool because then we wouldn't have a show, and then it would be less than 7 days a week, jerk. What?
You guys just keep up the great work,
and
you guys have an awesome night, and I will talk to you guys later. I'll keep watching.
All right, there you go.
Hey,
the
Raj.
tribal troll right there.
We got to get you to Disney World, man. Even for me, I'm about to be a big number this year.
How old are you this year, Jason?
I love Disney World, man.
How old are you this year? What's the
I'm gonna
big
be
number?
50 this year.
Wow, I didn't know that, man.
I look every bit of 30s. I look every bit of 37, baby.
That's it, man. There you go. Don't grow the beard. You got the baby face going on. So going back to it, Bruce Arians with these comments. You're not the biggest Baker Mayfield fan.
I'm not.
Us too.
Not in comparison to Kyle Trask. This is a Kyle Trask season.
Okay, go ahead and tell me why Kyle Trask, in your opinion, beats out Baker Mayfield. And these comments don't give you more confidence in Baker Mayfield being the starting quarterback of this team?
No, because Bruce Arians isn't involved in the organization much anymore.
Okay.
It's not his show. He's not calling the shots on offense. And we've seen what Baker Mayfield is. We know what he is. You have to see what Kyle Trask can be. It may not be elite. We don't know. But you have to see what he can be, given a decent offensive line, some decent skill. I think you're going to see a good Kyle Trask, honestly. I think Baker Mayfield is not going to be that much more elite, proficient. Baker's never been efficient. He's had some elite talent around him in Cleveland. I know he's had a lot of different OCs and all that, a lot of turmoil in Cleveland. I get it. But he's had opportunities to thrive, and he really has. And he had the one good year where they took him to the playoffs, and I get it. Decent, good year. But it's time to see if Kyle Trask can do it this year. You have to give Kyle Trask at least 7 or 8 games to see if he can be the guy. Because like you mentioned, they have a lot of capital and resources invested in Kyle Trask. High second-round pick into Kyle Trask. He's sat around. He's presumably he has learned from Tom Brady for the last couple of years. It's time to see, can Kyle Trask do it for 6 or 7 or 8 games before you make a decision.
And I think it happens in training camp, and I think it happens in preseason and those game situations. And I think you could, and I've heard Jason Light say this on 95.3, was splitting their time and their reps to see who the best starter is. And I have faith this organization, but what I'm looking at is BA's a quarterback whisperer. And he worked with a Ben Roethlisberger and a Peyton Manning, and you got the best out of Carson Palmer, and you got the best out of Brady. Say whatever you want to in this offense. So I have confidence, and even though he may not necessarily be as much of a part of this organization as he's been in the past, and even he's admitted to being too much of a part of it, looking over Todd Bowles' shoulder a little bit too much at the end of the day, I have confidence that Baker is going to be the eventual starter. Phone lines are cranking up right now. Let's go out to Mr. Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Powers on Sports Podcast. Mr. Jason Powers, what do you have to say? Welcome back, my friend. How about those Rays?
By the way, the Heat up 3-1 on the Knicks.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on, man. Hold on, man.
Yes.
All the Knicks fans out there.
You know I'm a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, I know you're a Red Sox fan, so I won't hold that against you.
No, hold on. Hold on.
Yes.
Now hold on. You know I root for the Rays because I know I love my hometown team.
Okay.
As long as it's not the Yankees, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Fair enough.
So,
Curtis, I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I am wearing a Green Monster Fenway Park t-shirt tonight.
What's that all about, Jason Powers?
It was a gift. My mom and dad went to Fenway Park about a year ago on a tour. They bought me a Fenway Park shirt.
Okay. I've never been to Fenway.
Sure.
Oh, it is
Cool
a
shirt.
Yeah.
listen, let me tell you something.
Yes.
I took a tour of Fenway 2019. It was great.
Right.
A lot of historical, legendary stuff they have in there. And
Sure.
it's a nice park. But,
Never been. I've never been.
I've never been either.
Jason, it's good to hear from you again, brother.
What's going on, man? We got to get the show host to get me back on a little more often, please.
I need to get you more on.
Let's
yes.
get into this Kyle Trask thing. Let me tell you something. This is how I really feel.
Tell me.
I don't think it matters who's quarterback this year.
You may be right about that.
I think we have to run the ball, and we can't turn the ball over.
Well, and I think there's been emphasis on that, and you've seen the comments, and you've seen the reason why they hired a Skip Pete from the Dallas Cowboys, and even they talked about it. The reason why they hired him because Dallas had no fumbles last year from their running back. So that is what they're going to focus on, and the onus at the end of the day, Curtis and Jason, is to duplicate that effort from the Seahawks where you have 4.8 yards per carry. That's what you want to see this Bucs offense do, because you become balanced and you take the pressure off the quarterback at the end of the day.
Well, here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is Geno Smith is not an elite quarterback. Let's go on and say that.
Right.
And is talent in Tampa better than the talent that Geno had in Seattle?
No, I think Tampa Bay's talent is better, although you still have DK Metcalf and Lockett and Ken Walker. You have a better. I think
it's pretty even. Pretty even.
I think Tampa's better with Evans and Godwin. Godwin coming back off a second year off that knee. I think he's a little bit better than Seattle's. But
listen. First of all, okay, hold on. We're going to touch base on that. Godwin should have been the comeback player of the year. I don't care what anybody says.
Agree.
100 catches and 1,000 yards after tearing his ACL. Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But the one thing the Bucs don't have that they need desperately is some speed outside. That's what Seattle had. DK and Lockett can stretch that defense, which opens up the throwing lanes better and opens up the running lanes a little bit better too. So speed. That's why I mentioned Trey Palmer.
I agree.
Yep. And that's where you have to have some speed on the outside.
What I will tell you is, and Peter knows this, I'm a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan.
Okay.
And that kid we drafted from Nebraska, that kid is a big time player.
Okay.
He just
He had drops. That was his big issue.
He had 10 drops, and he was a player last year, one of the only players in college football that had 3 receptions for over 70 yards.
Right.
So right. But he had 10 drops, so that's the reason why he dropped so low.
And that's fine. That's fine. Mike
Right.
Evans had a lot of drops.
That's
Mike
right.
Evans had a lot of drops last year.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
And drops can be fixed. That's more of a concentration and a technique thing more than it is the guy can't catch the ball.
And a lot of people are like, well, he left LSU. I'm sorry. Is LSU not a wide receiver factory?
Right.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely correct.
It's hard to go to LSU and to be a starting wide receiver.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry.
I just hope he's not like Kenny Bell, because I remember the hype, and this was some years ago. And you can remember Kenny Bell was supposed to be, the next coming, and he didn't even make it out of camp. He got cut. So I hope he's not another Kenny Bell.
I will tell you this: we have kind of had a little success with our picks from Nebraska, and I watch it hard because I'm a Nebraska Cornhusker fan.
Okay.
And I think the only guy that really hasn't showing anything was the defensive tackle we drafted a couple years ago. What's his name? Davis. I don't even know if he plays for us anymore.
Yes, I know what you're talking
about. He got drafted out of Nebraska. But going back to Barrett Rude, and pretty much anybody we've taken out of Nebraska, we've pretty much got some decent playing time out of those.
Here's a Nebraska name from Buccaneer lore: Broderick Thomas.
There you go.
Well, that's not.
He actually he played for 4 or 5, whatever it was. He wasn't elite, but he flashed some moments.
Couple moments. I think Levante David is the guy that I'm thinking about. Nebraska. We're going to talk about Nebraska picks that are solid. Levante David. I'm not talking about Barrett Rude, who would tackle you 10 years down the field.
But here's the thing, though. Where did Barrett Rude get drafted at?
Second round.
Is he second or third round?
Was he second? Was he second or third?
I think he was a second round pick.
I got to Google it right now, but
I'm
pretty sure.
Hey, Peter, I'll tell you what. You'll take him over Mason Foster again.
Yes.
I think you definitely take him over Mason Foster. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes, no doubt.
I mean, I think the Bucs have a young team with some veterans in the building, and it's going to be up to Mike Evans and Godwin and those guys to put the burden.
Second round. He was a second round pick. Good job, Jason Powers. I thought it was third. He was second round, 2005. There you go. So was Mason Foster.
It's on the veterans of this team to put the burden on them. You know, I listen. The one thing I loved about JPP is that guy was passionate about the game, and he was a voice of reason.
Correct.
JP, he hated to lose.
Sure.
And he was going to express himself, and he didn't care if you were Tom Brady or you was the kicker. You know, it's about holding each player accountable.
Agree.
Fellas, is the Bucs defense going to be good enough? To me, if you're going to play this style of offense, a little more ball control, not as many high-flying big plays, is the Buccaneer defense capable of doing their part to keep us in games?
Well, I mean, that's a big time key. I mean, you got to get after the quarterback. You didn't do enough of that last year. And with that offense staying on the field and grinding it out, that gives that defense an opportunity to rest on the sideline. So that can work out. Could definitely work out in the favor of the defense. But yeah, they got to be better. They got to be better.
My heart goes out to Shaq Barrett. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what to say about that guy. The fact that he's even going to play this year, my heart goes out to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's number one. Number two, I think Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis are the most underrated cornerback tandem in the NFL.
Agree with that, Jason? Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean?
I like them, but you got to have some more productivity, meaning more interceptions.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing. They have to stay on the field. They both miss games.
You're right. That's right. You're absolutely right. No doubt. They're quality players, but they need help. They can't be out there covering for 5 and 6 seconds. They got to have some help from the front seven, pressuring the quarterback.
And like you talked about productivity, you've got to get interceptions. You got to get more interceptions. This whole defense has to create more turnovers. And I definitely think Todd Bowles, that's going to be a point that you're going to have to see here at the end of the day. Yes.
They need to pay Winfield before he leaves.
Okay, I agree.
Going to pay Winfield.
I agree.
They're going to pay Winfield and Wirfs before they paid Devin White.
And they deserve to be paid before Devin White because they're more consistent and they're great at their positions and probably some of the best young players in the league. You're not going to lose Winfield Jr. or Wirfs.
Well,
no way. No.
God, I hate that I'm going to say this because, I love me some Devin White. I love my 54 and 45 in the middle of that defense together.
Sure.
But I'm going to say this. I every time we draft players, I always go back and I watch highlights of them from college.
Mm-hmm.
And Devin White was a great college player, but he wasn't a great coverage linebacker. He could get in there. He could blitz the quarterback.
Yep.
He could cover, but he wasn't great at it. Like, I don't know, man.
Again, in this day and age of the NFL, you're not asking him to cover wide receivers. He's got to be able to cover the tight end occasionally and be able to cover the running backs coming out of the backfield. Again, to me, he just has to play the scheme. He likes to freelance a little too much. Again, whether that's just a maturity, maturing into the defense, a maturity of him personally. But if he'll just play the scheme, Todd's got a good scheme.
Well,
play the scheme.
And I agree 100%. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I think winning the Super Bowl got him a little big-headed.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think
agree.
I go back to those comments from Todd Bowles. Maybe that's a player he was talking about. But Todd Bowles loves Devin White. I definitely,
of course.
And again, to give credit to where credit is due, because everybody's told me about this, Donovan Smith played tremendous the Super Bowl year. Ever since he won that Super Bowl, his plays regressed. I wasn't too, sorry about letting him go at the end of the day. And I feel like the same conversation can be made about Devin White too. His play has regressed. It's not as
well.
good.
Good. All I'm gonna tell Patrick Mahomes is he better watch his blind side this year. That's all I gotta say.
I saw that, and I said $9 million to get that guy. I said, good luck. I hope Mahomes is he's going to be running for his life or getting out of there, because I'm telling you right now.
But you have to admit, for being a second-round draft pick, Donovan had a pretty good career in Tampa.
Well, he did, absolutely. But
absolutely.
it goes back to what BA said, and I think people need to focus on this. He gets so much into wanting to knock the hell out of somebody that he loses technique.
Sure, I agree.
And
that's he tries to be Jensen, but he's not Jensen.
Right. He's not Jensen. And did it help losing Ali Marpet on that side? No, of course it didn't help. No. I mean, I think did he go through some personal things last year that we don't know of? You never know at the end of the day. But the Bucs decided they're turning the page on him. They're going.
Invariably, they decide to do this, guys, because they had an option. Had they not had another option, they may not have made that decision.
But, of course. But it makes sense from the standpoint of what you talked about on the No Quarter, which, by the way, Curtis, you need to check out. Everybody out there needs to check it out on buckpower.com podcast network.
We made this prediction 5 months ago that Tristan was going to left tackle.
This man right here, he made this prediction right there.
You.
Jason Powers. He said, look, it makes lots of sense. You draft him. He has been your best tackle overall. He's been the most consistent. Leo mentioned this. He's a wrestler. To me, it's not going to be difficult for him in that transition because of what he did specifically his rookie year. He came in on a Super Bowl team on the right side and basically did his job better than most tackles.
He was an all-pro. He was an all-pro his rookie year.
Right.
Is what's his name? Cody Mock?
Yes.
Is he not the redhead version of Ryan Jensen?
He is.
We hope.
Jason Lights talked about it. He may have a type. And people are comparing him to Alex Kappa. Hopefully he's better than Alex Kappa because, when Kappa came into the league, he was very raw, and you didn't see that productivity right away. I think this kid could be a little bit better than Alex Kappa, and if he is, that line improves tremendously. I think you play him at the left guard spot.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give somebody else the opportunity to give a call.
Sure, man.
And I'm gonna continue watching, but I'm gonna say
Love you, brother.
This team has the potential to be whatever it wants to be. Number one is they have to gain the confidence in themselves and in each other. And number two, we are probably besides the NFC North, are in probably one of the weakest divisions in that conference, because I'm sorry, Atlanta has all those weapons. They don't have a quarterback. That kid is not, I don't think that kid's ready. Ritter or whatever his name, I don't think he's ready.
I mean, it's the same situation with Kyle Trask, except he's had more. They've invested in him. I think it's like a 4th round pick out of Cincinnati. He took the team to a 2-2 record.
Desmond Ritter, 3rd rounder. Yep.
Third round.
Bryce Young, you traded away his best offensive weapons last year. Both of them.
Yeah.
You traded away DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey.
Yep, you did. You did.
I mean, they got a pretty good defense over there, but I mean, they ain't gonna be able to score no points.
If you honestly look at it today, New Orleans is the favorite in the South today.
Listen, Bryce Young is going to be Justin Fields' first year in Chicago. He's going to be running for his freaking life.
We'll see. Yep. Those are good points.
That'll be the thing right there. And what, his size and all the red flags that were coming out. Curtis, as always, you killed it, man. Appreciate the call. Definitely use that second call, my friend. We won't be on Wednesday night, but we will be on Thursday night at 9:00 for that scheduled release. Really quick.
Listen, I'm gonna try to listen. You know what, Peter? I have been working 6 days.
Brother, I get you. I understand it, man. I'm working the same way, dude.
I've been working 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's all in.
Yeah.
All in.
I get it. I get it, my friend. Keep on.
Make that cheddar, fellas. Make that cheddar.
Get that bag, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. All right. All right. Good stuff there from Curtis. Open phone line 727-255 0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. You're in the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with my co-host, my tag team partner of the world, Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast, and of course, No Quarter Given Podcast. Check it out on the Buck Power Podcast Network .com. With that being said, we'll finish up with this because I know you got to get out of here. Peter King ranks the Bucs 31st overall. Is he being overcritical, very critical, too critical of this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, in your opinion?
Again, I mean, part of his job, you know, are we the 31st worst, best team in the league? I don't think so. But we have to be careful because if you look at the one thing, and it's easy to want to do this, look at the Buccaneers' non-divisional schedule next year. Very difficult.
Yes.
Very difficult.
Let's go through right now. You got the home schedule. You got Chicago. You've got the Lions. You got the Jaguars. You got Tennessee. You got the Eagles plus your division. And then the away is Green Bay, which I think, you know, it's not bad. Jordan
It's Love, a winnable game, but it's not a layup. No.
Vikings, Texans, Colts, San Francisco, and Buffalo.
Right. I mean, so the schedule's part of this analysis. Yeah. And the salary cap situation is part of the analysis too, because invariably we don't want to admit this. There's going to be a lot of these draft picks that make the team. There's going to be several undrafted players that make the team from a salary cap perspective. I don't think the Bucs are done from a salary cap slashing perspective. There could be another veteran or two that we all think are going to make it that might not make it. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of young guys on this team next year. You have to get out of this salary cap. You and I talked about this the last year or two. There was going to be a year, and this is the year that you have to pay off all those credit cards that we've been kicking down the road the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not the guy that talks about credit cards because I still kicking my credit card.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Yes.
I mean, there's $25 million of $30 million of dead money with Tom Brady. That's right off the top. I mean, that's just money you've lost off the cap.
Sure.
That you can't reinvest in guys who you would probably want to bring in to create some opportunities at some other positions. I mean, and invariably, if the Bucs don't get a pass rush, they're going to struggle on defense. I don't care what we think of the back end. If we don't get production out of Barrett, the defensive end, and then Shoyinka, it's going to be a major struggle on defense. That's just the bottom line.
You're absolutely correct. All right, Jason Powers, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Powers on Sports Podcast. Check it out. We talk about all things going on in the sports world week to week. So we'll have Peter on it. We're going to do another edition of the No Quarter Given Podcast either this week or next week, doing a kind of a post-draft edition of the Bucs draft moves. So check that out as well. No Quarter Given, part of the BuckPower.com podcast network. You know, if you subscribe, rate, and review on the Powers on Sports Podcast, love to hear your comments at JPO Sports on Twitter. Shout out, give me a shout out. Would love to hear from you, good, bad, and indifferent. And again, I am doing some. I'm a contributor with on Bay News 9 with Sports Spectrum Sports 360 now and again. So if you get a chance, check it out.
There you go, Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast. Thanks a lot for your time here, superstar. And we'll get you back on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. All right.
Don't be forgetting my number for that chicken wing invite.
Listen,
I'm
not forgetting your number on the chicken wing invite. All right. We have a sports web day. I'm going to definitely buy some wings. Roger owes me wings.
I'll pay. I'll help. I'll help a little bit. I'll help.
All right. Good stuff. You stay your ass out of the club too, by the way.
Don't be down there on Dale Mabry and West Shore now. Come on,
man.
Now.
That's you. You're talking about it. I didn't say I'm too busy working all the time. I ain't doing that. You've seen another person down there. I've
been hearing rumors you got a lady in the mix over there now with some bootay and everything.
We'll see what happens, my friend. All right. Appreciate you as always, Jason Powers. Causing trouble there. Good stuff. All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. Give you an update. Your Tampa Bay Rays are now 29-7. You got to love that. 3-0 over the Baltimore Orioles tonight. Shane McClanahan, not necessarily his best start. Goes 6 innings, 4 walks, 7 Ks, 7-0, 176. Is it time to start talking about McClanahan as an all-star? I'm just saying. I mean, and this team has been unbelievable. Of course, during the weekend, they take 2 out of 3 from the New York Yankees. Yeah! Yankees lose. In my best John Sterling voice. Sorry about that, but I had to put it out there. All right, let's go back out to the comments. We'll talk about your Tampa Bay Rays. What do you think so far, Rays fans? And, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, my question for the night, do you have more confidence after BA in his comments about Baker Mayfield? I do. I have all kinds of confidence that Baker Mayfield is going to be the starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I may be wrong, and I've been wrong before. It's going to happen again. I'll be wrong again. I will. It's going to happen. But I do think Baker is your starter going forward. And I have more confidence because he is a quarterback whisperer. He has worked with some of the great young quarterbacks in this generation. And Ben Roethlisberger, a Peyton Manning, getting the most out of a Carson Palmer. He even goes on to say that, Tim Couch, he had a tough time playing hurt. Things didn't work out in Cleveland. He says that happens to a lot of guys. Timmy Couch was no bust. Timmy Couch got broken the hell up in Cleveland. I coached him. Hell of a player. Of course, the number 1 overall pick from Kentucky turned out to be a bust. But, of course, it didn't help because of the team that he went to. So he was talking about it. So I trust his analysis. Then again, you go back to Kyle Trask. We talked about it before. What's the learning curve? Is he going to be able to pick this offense up? I like the comments from Trask a couple weeks ago, defending himself, standing up for himself, saying, okay, you can call me a deliberate learner, but I'm going to put everything, paraphrasing here, put everything into it to learn this playbook. We heard from Dave Canales and how he said, we don't need a quarterback that's going to be like Tom Brady. Tom Brady isn't coming through the door, right? We need a point guard, a distributor, to get the ball to these wide receivers, to get the ball to these weapons. Who we didn't even talk about Payne Durham, who was a draft pick, who looks a lot like Karrion Kross from WWE. Once again, I'm still waiting for that confirmation. That guy looks like a bad dude. And maybe he could solve the problems that this Bucs team had in the red zone last year, along with the K-Dot. Now you got 2 tight ends. Now you distribute the ball to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You give the ball to Rashard White and whoever else is going to run in that backfield. It's a lot of things to look forward to. And I don't believe they're 31st. Peter King being too critical. There's too much talent on this team, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not just being a homer here. There's too much talent on this team for them to be the second worst team in the National Football League. Can we get that out of the way? What do you guys think? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Ask, and you shall receive. Let's go out to Curtis' second call. Welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, on this Monday night.
I agree with you 1,000%. Listen, this team has so much talent around them.
Yes.
All we have to do is not turn the ball over.
That's it. Don't turn the ball over. I mean, it's any professional sport. NBA playoffs right now. Playoffs, you turn the ball over, they're going to make you pay with transition layups and easy opportunities. Same thing with NFL. Same thing with hockey. We talk about it all the time. When the Lightning turned over the puck, what happened? The other team made them pay. You get good opportunities, high leverage opportunities at the end of the day.
I'm just going to say it. I don't have a problem with Baker Mayfield. My problem with Baker Mayfield is I've watched some of his tape. I've watched some tape on Baker.
Right.
And I've seen, God, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. He does what Jameis Winston does at the end of games.
He'll try to make some throws. He'll try to depend on his arm a little bit too much, or try to fit it into those little windows that were bigger in college football. See, that is the toughest transition with a quarterback, a young quarterback, especially somebody that's got that gunslinger mentality that thinks he can make every throw.
At the end of the game, he plays hero ball. And we don't need you to play hero ball.
Correct.
You need to listen. Let me tell you something. People don't understand one thing about Tom Brady was great. But you know what made Tom Brady get great? He took what the defense gave him.
That's it. Check it down.
And the players around him made the plays.
Correct.
He just made the correct decision. Listen, you don't and Tom and I hate to keep talking about Tom Brady, but he was proof that you don't have to be the biggest, you don't have to be the strongest, you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be able to process.
That's it. You got to process. You got to have a mind for the game. It's not just athleticism, because any quarterback could play in this league if you just had the athleticism. That's why it will be, it may be a tough transition for Anthony Richardson, right? 53% completion percentage, but everybody's looking at the measurables. Everybody's looking at the tools and frothing at the mouth, especially the Indianapolis Colts. But at the end of the day, how can he process the information? How can he go through his progressions? Not just the one, the two, the three, the four.
We're gonna go a little off subject. Eli Manning. Eli Manning was not the most athletic, biggest, strongest. None of that.
Oh no, he was not. He was a guy that could process fast enough and read the defense enough, and also the Giants helped him out with a running game.
His last name was Manning.
Well, there you go. But he wasn't Peyton, right? I mean, and it was on the strength of a running game. When you had a Brandon Jacobs, when you had an Ahmad Bradshaw.
A Tiki Barber.
Tiki Barber, yes. Yes.
They've always had a running game.
Sure.
And you know what? I was surprised that we didn't draft another running back.
Well, they got this kid from Syracuse who they seem like they're very high on, and who knows? At the end of the day, we were talking about did you think Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, was going to be that electric and that productive for that Chiefs offense? I didn't. So you don't know. I mean, the running back is so undervalued these days. It's not overvalued. It's undervalued. So you may be able to get a player that's undrafted that just for some reason some teams didn't like.
That's like Dalvin Cook has demanded a trade, but what are you really going to get for value for him?
I mean, teams feel like, you have to make a trade first and foremost before the draft. Now that a lot of these spots have been filled by younger running backs. And let's face it, I love Dalvin Cook. I'm a Dalvin Cook fan all day long.
Oh, man, I know you are. But I'm a huge Dalvin Cook guy.
The miles are on the tires, right? And it takes about 5 to 6 years for those miles to start showing up.
Absolutely.
And that's where the Vikings are going here. They feel like he's lost a step or two. And Cook, of course, wants to be paid and wants more stability. And he's not going to get that because that's the way the NFL is going at the end of the day.
And it's the same thing with Anthony Richardson.
Sure.
If Jonathan Taylor's not healthy, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But going back to this Bucs team, I like Rashard White. I liked him when we drafted him last. I went and looked at that kid, and after that Dallas performance of Leonard Fournette. Matter of fact, has he signed with anybody?
He has not signed with anybody yet. Leonard Fournette's still looking for a team. Uh-oh.
Nobody.
Well, he may end up with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, but how much value do you have? I mean, again. The miles are on the tires, and they're not paying you $10 million. They're not going to pay you that. 3 to 4 at the most 6.
I mean, he was getting, what was he getting from Tampa? He was getting like 7 from Tampa.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be cut because you didn't want $7 million? Are you serious?
Right. Well.
And listen, what's it? Keyshawn Vaughn? He's had his moments, but he's too inconsistent.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like the long story short, we need to run the ball. We need to protect our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We need to rush the quarterback.
Yep.
Because I have faith in our secondary somewhat when they're not, making mistakes. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I just don't know. I don't know. This team could be either a really good team, but I don't think we're a 31st ranked team.
No.
Nowhere near that.
No, I don't think you're a 31st ranked team. I think there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that would wish that this team would be a 31st ranked team, because then it would be collapse or Caleb Williams. And
you know what?
You hear scouts, he's saying he's the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. At the end of the day, want to win games. I think the Bucs organization wants to win games, and that's why I definitely don't think they're 31st. Too much talent on this team.
How many people seen Anthony Richardson as a top 5 pick at the beginning of the season last year? Nobody. There's always a quarterback that comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, right? You're exactly right.
Even Carson Wentz. Nobody knew about Carson Wentz.
No.
Nobody knew about him.
Yeah, still nobody knows about Carson Wentz. Ever since 2017, nobody's known about Carson Wentz.
Exactly. So I mean, I think this Bucs team, we have a hard schedule coming up.
Right.
But what people need to understand is this is still the NFL. No game is just a layup. No. You have to go out there and play the game.
It's the National Football League, which means not for long. And just because you do well a year before doesn't necessarily translate that you're going to do well this year. And just because you did bad the year before doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be bad, the next year, unless you're the Cleveland Browns or something.
I hate to say this too, but the one thing people always forget about is injuries.
Yeah.
There's always injuries in the NFL. So you never know what player is going to be where by the time the middle of the season, the end of the season, any of that happens.
Yeah, agree.
So,
absolutely.
I want the best for our team. I love my Buccaneers to death. But, I want us to win. And I don't care if we win ugly. I don't care if we win big. Just win. That's all I care
Do you think they get shut out by prime time on Thursday night when that schedule is released? Because we'll be here live at 9:00 for that schedule, and we'll see what happens. I don't think you do, but this is the first year where teams can get shut. I think it's the Denver Bronco rule, right? I mean, how many bad games did you watch on primetime football? And I get it. You got Russell Wilson and there's excitement there, but God, they were god awful. And every week it seemed like the Broncos were there. So
I think they are going to give us probably one, maybe two.
So you don't think they get shut out? One game for you?
At least one.
Okay.
I mean, because it all also depends on what we're doing in the season, because the games can be flexed.
True.
Especially on Sundays.
Yeah,
we could get flexed to a Sunday night game.
Sure.
Easy.
Sure.
And it all depends on Todd Bowles and the coaches and how together they can get this team to be.
That's as crazy as it sounds. I think this team actually may have a better record than they had with Tom Brady the last year. There's a sneaking suspicion that there won't be as many distractions. There's still talent here. I think also, going back to Todd Bowles, and even BA talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how he's not going to be paraphrasing over his shoulder. He's not going to be so much involved. He's going to let Todd Bowles have this. And this may also be a big time thing to look at the end of the day.
Peter, that wasn't Todd Bowles' team. That was Tom Brady's team.
Yeah, Tom Brady's team.
That was Tom Brady's team. That was not Todd Bowles' team.
I agree.
Todd Bowles had no control. Right. He had no control of what was going on.
Right. Yeah.
Because Tom Brady, listen, and we've had these conversations.
Yep.
Tom Brady pretty much did what the F he wanted to last year.
Of course.
Go to Robert Kraft's wedding. You take 11 days off in the middle of training camp.
Yeah.
Who does that?
The greatest of all time. And you make different rules, but you're exactly right. It sets a bad example. You wonder how it affected the locker room. Just too much noise. There hasn't been that noise this year in the offseason. It's been quiet.
That listen, I'm gonna tell you something. That Pittsburgh game we lost,
awful,
and that first Carolina Panthers game I lost.
Awful.
I was like, what am I watching?
I have no idea what we were watching.
What am I watching?
I've never seen a football team just look completely lost in the sauce. Marine Corps term. Marine Corps boot camp. I didn't make it all the way to Marine Corps. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Awful. You have no business losing to the Carolina Panthers with all.
You have no business losing to Pittsburgh.
I agree. Everything that is going on.
Mitch Trubisky was going
right.
Mitch Trubisky was going up and down the field.
Who has always killed this Bucs defense. He's always killed this Bucs defense. Always. And Mike Tomlin's going to coach up that team. Right. I mean, he's one of the most underrated coaches, does not get enough publicity as being a great coach.
This guy should win Coach of the Year every year.
Every year with what he does.
Even Big Ben's last 3-4 years, that guy was coaching and winning without a quarterback every year.
Right. Exactly.
Literally.
Yes.
So, I mean, listen, I don't care if it's Trask. I don't care if it's Mayfield. And, I'm going to go and say it. I want to see what Trask has.
All right.
I really do. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I want to see what he does too. I just think Baker is going to be your guy, but I may be wrong.
No, he would, and we don't know.
So you're on the Trask. Are you on the Trask force at this point?
I'm on whoever's going to make our team better. That's what I'm on.
Very diplomatic of you, my friend. Good call as always.
I'm telling you, I'm on whoever's going to make our team better. But I've seen Baker Mayfield, and I've seen him make a lot of mistakes.
Sure,
seen him make a lot. I think Kyle Trask needs his chance, because I mean that's what Philly did with Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
They benched Wentz and they benched everybody else, and they gave that kid a chance.
They did,
and he seized the opportunity.
And here's the thing: he's going to get every opportunity in training camp. He's going to get every opportunity in the preseason, and we're going to let the coaches decide it. And we're going to be covering it for you here on the Sports Web. So stay tuned, my friend. All right.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate the call as always. Good stuff. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the evolution of Sports Talk Television, live on I Love St. Pete, the hub, and Amped Up Sports. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Going back to the last comment from the hub, boss, I'm an admin. I was tagging everyone to get them to tune in to the show here. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to address the comment because it was ridiculous, but I had to address it in this manner. Let's see here. Troy says, sit down, Roger. Roger says, Jason, I'm 52. I feel you. Take your lady to Rusty Bellies on Sponge Docks. Best seafood anywhere. Good stuff there. Dating advice from Roger Shue. Hell is officially frozen over. Good stuff there, Roger. Appreciate it.
Flawless victory.
Acknowledge
me.
Troy says best seafood. Troy, again, best seafood is in Louisiana, son, the Bayou. How would you know that, Troy? Is that where you're at this point? Troy, put down the blunt. Roger says, Troy, we should meet Pete for breakfast before work tomorrow. The reason why Troy can't is because Troy doesn't work with us. Troy says can't. Gotta be ready for the meeting. What time is that meeting, by the way, there, Troy? What time is that? Go ahead, put the answer in there. Where's Ray at? He is not here tonight. No Harry tonight. I know Harry, you called him before. If you want to call in again, definitely do that. Roger, what time is the meeting? Nee says Peter Blake. Thank you very much for Queenie right there. Peter, when are we going gator hunting? Then make some gator tacos with that Fred, or I guess it's Kentucky Fried Seasoning. Never.
This guy sucks.
I'm not hunting gator with you. I don't even know who you are. Where is Ali Muppet? It's Ali Marpet there, genius. Robert says he played a lot of left tackle at Iowa, talking about Tristan Wirfs. And again, if a guy can transition over, and I have confidence, and I have supreme confidence in Tristan Wirfs, and he can do the job, I'm definitely going in that direction with him. Pete is scared of water. He would never go. I will. I love gator. I'm not a boat person. The last time I was on a boat, let's just say 14 times of nonstop puking. I don't have a puking sound, so I use that one instead. Peter won't even go on a boat. I have vertigo. I may be changing here in the next couple months. We'll see. Troy is laughing. Where's Mr. Williams not calling in tonight? Can we talk soccer? Peter King is so right.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Roger again. Bucs go 6-11. All right. I'm going to say they go over that, and I'm going to bet you dinner, steak dinner. Well done steak, just like I like it, just like you guys hate it. The bet with Harry is still on. Bucs will not win 10 or more games. 1,000 is on the table, says Troy. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got you down. Troy says, why does that dude, Mancini, never look at the camera? We all want to know what he's looking at. Well, he's not looking at you, that's for sure. Roger Shue says, I don't even watch him. He's horrible. Hey, you better stop. The madman Mark Mancini is going to definitely take care of you when he comes back on, but we will not have a show on Wednesday night, which means no turnbuckle talk, but we will be on Thursday night, so we may have the madman himself and, of course, the new radio personality there in Pittsburgh, Mr. Ralph Williams. So don't be talking about the host here in Trask. We trust. Mickey says, you're a homer, Peter. Well, I guess I am. You know, I'm doing a Tampa Bay sports talk show. I have the Bucs here. I have Mike Alstott. I have Tropicana. I need to get some lightning stuff here. I need to do that. Somebody needs to work on that. I need to work on that. It's okay to be a homer sometimes when I'm also objective, Mickey. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of hockey, Toronto is down 0-3. Uh-oh.
Shitter!
Uh-oh. Toronto down 0-3. You don't say. All right, let's go out to the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Using his second call, Mr. Roger Shue, welcome back to the Evolution. What do you have to
Peter
say?
H. Blake,
Yes,
you're
sir.
talking all your trash
Why? Why I
about
can't talk
betting me
trash?
at dinner.
I'm betting you a dinner. They're going to have more wins than 6, and you're going to lose.
Okay, first of all, let me pay off your wings.
You will pay that off. You will.
Then
You will
you'll
acknowledge
be
me on
buying
that.
me a steak dinner.
All right, so steak dinner.
We will go to wherever you want to go for a steak dinner,
Okay.
and you'll bang me a ribeye medium rare.
Well, I'm going to Burns because I've never been to Burns. That's another place I haven't.
I
been
haven't
to.
either.
All right, so Burns it is. You're paying me Burns when the Bucs have over 6 wins this year, right?
Good luck with that.
No,
Yes.
you'd say- okay.
I accept 100%.
Is that a
Live
yes?
on
Yes!
air.
Is that
It
a
is
yes?
official.
Yes! Is that a yes with an S?
It is a yes.
Okay.
Yes,
There we
yes,
go.
yes.
All right, good.
Brian Danielson, yes.
Okay, good. What else?
Are you watching Raw?
I am not. I was watching the Rays game. I got to get somebody to turn it on for me, but I have not watched. What's going on?
The Rays, it's May. Don't get excited.
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
to me in September.
Yeah, 29-7. Not no.
It's 162 games.
Yeah, okay.
You have a great start.
Okay. What else?
It's historic.
It is.
And all of the other bull crap.
Right. All bull crap. If over the Cubs, it would be a different story, wouldn't it, Roger?
No, it wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, it would.
What does Cubs stand for?
I don't
Cubs useless by September.
This guy sucks.
know. That's terrible.
I will also make you a bet for lobster dinner.
I don't eat lobster.
Okay, we'll go for ribs.
Go for steak. Yeah, ribs. Ribs are good. Go ahead.
We'll go for ribs.
Ribs.
The Bears will have a better record than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year.
I don't know
and
about
you
that.
yourself have said that they will.
I don't know if I'll take you on that. I don't know about that. I
Because
think
you're
Chicago,
scared.
No, I think Chicago is going to be actually good. It's going to depend on Justin Fields and, you know, what he does, his progression, and his third year with all the weapons. I mean, it's do or die for this kid.
We will be winning. We will be winning the NFC North.
Okay.
And we'll get into the playoffs.
So they have
I'm
more wins than the
believing on a
Bucs.
wild card.
So they have more wins than the Bucs then.
100%. Yes.
Okay. All right. What else?
Hey, give me the yeses. Come on, hit the yes.
Yes! Yes!
There we go.
Yes!
All right, I'll get with
What
this.
is your name?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't
My
matter
name is
what
a travel troll.
Doesn't matter what your name is.
I am
All right.
I'm a Greekite on this channel.
Oh, be quiet and shut up.
So anyway, it's been a great show. So no show Wednesday. It's going to be Thursday or Friday?
Thursday night at 9 o'clock. We'll have the schedule release, and we'll try to move some turnbuckle talk in there because I know you love the madman himself, Mark Mancini.
we should all get together and do the Bears Bucs game.
Well, I think
the Greek.
We may do that. We may definitely do that. We got some plans here coming in the next couple months, so we got plenty of time.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Plans. All right. Sounds good, Roger. Appreciate the call.
Right,
as always, my friend. Good stuff there. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, the other number in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Going back to the hockey thing. Yes, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Toronto, as we speak, is choking. All right, let's go out to Roger. Fat Lenny ain't getting a job except at Walmart. Jeez.
Flawless victory.
Shard White hasn't done anything. He has more negative yards than Fournette did. Man, these callers give the worst takes. He hasn't been given the opportunity to run the ball consistently. Enough with the nonsense there, buddy.
Shut up!
All right, let's go out to the Timex reporter here. Let me give him a raise horn. All right, Mr. Rays. Your Rays win tonight over the Baltimore Orioles 3-0. How you feeling, my friend? Welcome, Alex Nunster, to the Evolution.
Another great win, man. What can I say? We just keep on rolling, man. It's, like I said the other day, was a great homestand, and we come in here to a new series out of town, and we'll come on in and put up great numbers. I think Shane McClanahan pitched another great game. It was good to see him come out. The dude's 7-0 with a 1.76 ERA. It's pretty impressive stuff.
No, he really is. And I mentioned this tonight. I definitely think you have to start talking about him as an all-star consideration, probably the top pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. He's been amazing. Didn't necessarily have his best stuff tonight because he had 4 walks, but he reminds me of an old term I heard with Chicago White Sox baseball from Hawk Harrelson, where he would talk about pitchers being bulldogs. That guy's a bulldog, and he's going to continue to pound the strike zone with, fastballs. He's going to continue to challenge hitters no matter if he has his best stuff or not. But when he has his best stuff, he is definitely one of the best young pitchers in the league, period.
Yep. And I think the better part is, the offense didn't score another 5+ runs a game. Of course, you can't get that every game.
Sure.
But, it was enough. It was a different guy every day. I think the team leads the league in home runs right now.
Yep.
So we had a couple bombs today, and I guess that was all we needed today. But like I said, hats off to McClanahan pitching, another great game. The bullpen coming in when clutch. I think O'Shea gave everybody a little bit of a scare, like as per usual, but he got the final out, and what do you say? Another great Rays win.
Yeah, 73 home runs for the year. Rayleigh with the honors there late in the game, and then you have Josh Lowe early on in the top of the second. So pretty much, and when the Rays score first, they're 23-1. Timex reporter, 23-1 when you score first this year. They should have beaten the Chicago White Sox also when they blew that game a couple of Sundays ago. They should have won that game too, but they didn't.
And honestly, we should have easily swept the Yankees. Unfortunately, the bullpen didn't come through in game 2. And
Agree.
At the end of the day, I'll take a serious win any day over a visiting team and watching hundreds of Yankee fans go home disappointed, especially selling out like we did on Sunday. That was very
32,000, their highest crowd. They get down 6-0, and they storm back against the Yankees' best pitcher in Garrett Cole.
What an impressive game,
Amazing.
too. I mean, the look on Garrett Cole's face when Betancourt hit that bomb to tie it up. It's so freaking priceless, man.
Yeah.
But listen, if you are not, I don't care if you're a baseball fan or not. You may be, a Chicago fan, a New York fan, a Boston fan. I don't care what you are. If you are hating on a team doing this good, I mean, I've said this many times. You are totally inhumane. I mean, the
You're
numbers these
just
guys are
jealous.
putting.
That's all it is. I mean, we
These
seen it. We
guys,
heard it.
and
We
you
heard
don't
it from
have
the
to
New
be a
York.
Rays fan.
Right. We heard from the New York, sports the radio guys tonight. They're saying, we know this Rays team. We know these Rays players. No, you don't. I can't explain. I
You
don't know
don't.
what's going. You don't, because you haven't been watching baseball.
No. And I was telling somebody, like I said, I appreciate you giving me a little extra time tonight.
Yeah, man.
I was telling somebody the other day, what's different is a lot of people don't understand that this is almost the same Rays team that went out in the playoffs last year and ended the season getting shut out by the Guardians of all the teams that I would have never seen that happen. People don't realize that this is the same team. And what's impressive about it is you take a team that goes out of a season like that, an injured season like that, and I don't know what happened in that clubhouse in the offseason. Like I said, a lot of moves weren't made. I mean, a lot of moves were not made. KK was let go. I think Troy was let go, but there wasn't very many moves. You've got almost the same entire roster, but I think what it is a lot of guys are stepping up. You got guys like Josh Lowe. The guy said this year the offseason he was gonna make some adjustments. Taylor Walls. The guy was trash last year. The guy batted under 200. Look at what he's doing. His defense is great. His hitting is amazing. It's amazing to see a lineup on an average lineup and have over 40 bombs in that lineup, and we are only barely in the month of May.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
73
and
home
what's
runs.
more
Amazing.
importantly,
Yep.
what's more importantly impressive is because we are beating these teams with quadruple the payroll we got. I mean, you just think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just impressive baseball. I've absolutely had a great time, a great ride. It's been I'm so excited about baseball season. I know we always 90% of the time we talk about the Bucs on this page, and unfortunately for me, when the Bucs aren't in play, I'm all about my Rays if I'm not about the Lightning.
Hey,
but
we're gonna talk about the Rays. We're gonna try to do more Rays stuff here, more Rays post game stuff. We're definitely gonna try to include you in the evolution of sports talk television.
I want to encourage people. Two more things before I go.
Sure.
I really hope that Stu is deep down. He's watching this team and the fan base. I know our attendance is still probably not the best, but you can tell that winning baseball brings out a lot more fans to the game. I've been to 17 games. Peter, I've already been to 17 games in this very young season.
Amazing.
And I have seen some amazing baseball. I mean, it has been a ride, and I encourage you guys. I mean, for real, get out and support this team. This is fun. I'm having fun. Now you have to really like baseball like the way I do, but I'm very thankful to be able to make every game. Not only that,
you're giving out tickets. You gotta. Well, what is this? What is this?
Yeah. So
hold on.
One thing else I really appreciate you actually asking. A lot of people don't know about this, but I told you and Harry about this the other day. And actually, I think Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy was in here tonight, and I actually didn't acknowledge him. Poor guy. I didn't even know he was in there. I wasn't watching, but. I love Ray. He's the best. I've met him at a couple games already this year. It's been great to meet him. He's an absolutely amazing guy. Absolutely love the guy.
There you go. It's Alex giving out tickets there to Rays games on the Rays Up Facebook site. How many followers? How many members are in this? Yes.
So we are still young. I created this page maybe 2 years ago, but the growth this year is impressive. I mean, I'm adding 100 plus members a week.
Amazing, dude. Amazing.
It's absolutely great what we're doing. And what I've done this year to encourage people is, because I'm so hyped on getting this thing blown up, is out of my personal pocket, I don't ask for money. It's nothing. Out of my personal pocket, I've tied up with a couple people that I know, season ticket holders. I know, of course, when you go to a game, you meet a lot of people and a lot of contacts, but I get tickets for really, really cheap. Some of the best tickets in the house. I mean, last weekend, let's see, I got Milwaukee coming into town on Friday. I gave away 2 front row tickets just yesterday. Today I gave out 2 tickets behind the front row in Randy Lane.
Wow.
The point is I do this every homestand just to encourage us fans to get to the stadium and support our Rays. And I appreciate the support that people, I get inbox, I get mail things. It's awesome to see the people in the background appreciating what I'm doing, but I don't do this for me, man. I don't do this for a good job, Alex, or a pat on the back. I do it just because I love people. I love this community. I love my Rays. And most importantly, I'm trying to encourage and do my part on seeing what we can do to, of course, keep the Rays in Tampa Bay. I know that's a whole other topic that I don't want to get on tonight, but
right.
I really hope that, Stu is deep down, he's watching and he's seeing that we're playing great baseball. Fans are showing up a little bit more. And I really hope, that I'm making a difference. And not only that, not just one person, but I have met some of the most awesome people. I've met 5-year-old, the cutest little 5-year-old kids, 4-year-old kids having a ball at the stadium. It's great. It's great that I've been able to bless people, and it's amazing. And it's like I said, it's not to say good job, Alex, or look what you do. It's about making a difference and encouraging people to make a difference.
Well, hey, man, you're doing it. You're killing it here, my friend. Once again, you're giving out free tickets on the Raise Up Facebook site. We do share the Sports Web here. Yes.
If you are on the Sports Web on the daily, and I know we have a lot of fans in the Sports Web, Bucs, Lightning, and Rays.
Sure.
I appreciate calling in, especially I've called in a lot more over the last year. I've been thankful enough to have you guys and taking my phone calls and having a great time. Of course, we have a blast here on this show, as you know. But
we do.
Please, I encourage you guys. Just look us up. It's Raise Up with an exclamation point and a baseball sign. You can't miss it. We're doing great stuff. I'm giving out tickets every homestand. Like I said, I give out a game, a series every homestand. And if you join my page, you just might be a lucky one that you might be sitting in front row in Randyland, the best seats in the house, and you might be able to watch a Rays win.
Love it, man. Let me give you the horn again.
I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. And as always, I appreciate you accepting my phone call. And as always, I love you guys.
Love you too, brother. There you go. The Timex reporter right there, Mr. Alex Nunster of Raise Up there on that Facebook site. Go to him. He'll get you some details on how you can win some free tickets to Rays games. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Also got a call from somebody. Want to give him a call back because I know he wants to talk about the Rays or the Lightning or the Bucs or the NFL. Let's see if we can get him on here because I hate to miss calls, but he wanted to call in. So let's see if we can get him on here, Mr. Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Ring-a-ding-ding. It's ringing. Going once. Going twice. All right, so you're out of here. All right, if he calls back, we take his call. If not, we'll get his call another time here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television as we're live here on, of course, my page, I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and The Hub. All right, let's see. Did I read this? Here, he didn't show up tonight because he knew I was going to call and make that $1,000 bet with him tonight. He realized he was high when he said the Bucs were winning 10 to 12 games next season. We will see what Mr. Harry the Greek has to say to you when he comes back. After one quarter, Fakers 22, Golden State 21. So we'll be watching that game. Lakers are up 2-1 in that series over Golden State. We'll see if Golden State can get back in that series. That wasn't Brady's team. Real Bucs fans know Brady won the Super Bowl with the team Jameis built.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Mickey here. This guy on the phone sounds like King Crybaby. Let's not make fun of the callers here, Mickey. I appreciate the support. Troy, stay in your lane. Roger says, Pete, I'll take your bet. Mickey says his guy is high. Roger says, can I claim the Rays as my AL team? You can. Roger says Rays are all on steroids.
Shitter!
Christopher Cole, I commented on that radio show saying jealous much. Good comment. As always. Let's see here. Why hasn't he given Pete and I tickets? That's a great question. We'll see if we can work on that. We'll see if we can work on a sports web day where we take plenty of Tampa Bay Rays fans with us and make it an experience to watch some baseball, to meet the Rolex reporter, to meet the Greekites and Greek, and of course, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Good night, all. Thank you very much, Roger, for tuning in. Let's go out to Troy. I gave some Rays tickets to some kids, and they pooped on them and laughed at me.
This guy sucks.
Why did I read the comments? It was Kenneth Kniff. I'm sure it was two giant goop balls right there, Mr. Andrew Davis. I know who you are referring to. Thanks a lot for all the comments tonight. Thanks a lot to all the phone calls. Travis, we will get you on. Once again, no Wednesday night show. We'll be back on Thursday night for the schedule release. We'll see who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play and who every other NFL team plays. Thanks to JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show. And, of course, my tag team partner of the world. Guys, catch him on Spectrum Sports with the great Roy Cummings. We're going to get Roy on here in just a couple of shows. Mr. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. Also, if you need a Bucs podcast, go to the Buck Power Podcast Network. Look up No Quarter Given. We're out there. We're doing that show. Of course, as always, giving you not only what's going on with the Bucs, but also the history. Paul Stewart does a phenomenal job with all Tampa Bay Buccaneer history. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports. And do three things for me on this Monday night edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Well, we're about to wrap up the show. But guess what? We're not. We're going to go out to Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment. Welcome to the Evolution. We're about to wrap up the show. What do you have to say? I got to take your call, my friend. What's up?
Wow, I didn't know if I was ever going to get through tonight. It was a little on the caller madness, I have to say. But two huge things I wanted to talk to you about real quick.
Sure, go for it.
One is, the Blackhawks stole Connor Bedard. Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy's basically been called the next Crosby since he was 13 years old. What a huge day for Chicago Blackhawks fans and Chicago sports in general.
And the last time that the Blackhawks drafted number 1 overall was in 2017, where they drafted a guy by the name of Patrick Kane and proceeded to win 3 Stanley Cups. So hopefully it works out that way. Everybody's saying he's a generational prospect, 71 goals. He could be the real deal. I hope it works out for Chicago, because at the end of the day, you need those big cities like the Chicago Blackhawks to be in the thick of it when it comes to hockey.
You know, I can't wait to, read some of the blogs tomorrow as far as up in Toronto and, across the country saying that I'm sure the draft is fixed, yada, yada,
right,
to get this guy into a big city market. But, that's probably the conspiracy theories that happens all across the country, especially when it comes to sports these days. But Pete, wanted to bring up another thing.
Sure.
How much did you look into the Jokic forearm push last night?
Didn't really look into it that much. I don't like it. I don't know what to think about it. I think players I don't know. Is it me, or are they becoming more sensitive? And it's the owner. So what's that whole situation? Because I looked into it a little bit, but kind of give me what the whole gist of it is. I know that he put his hands on the owner, and the owner put his hands on him. I mean, what's it all about?
No. So one of the Phoenix Suns goes into the stands basically to get a ball going out of bounds, runs into some of the fans on the side. One of the fans grabs the ball. Okay. Jokic goes in and goes to grab the ball out of the fan's hands and rips the ball out of the fan's hands. And then he was obviously upset that the fan at this point didn't give the ball so readily available to Jokic. So he takes a forearm and he pushes the fan down. Just happens to be that the fan is the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then obviously the owner of the Suns comes out and says, no, he shouldn't be suspended or anything like that. But he put a forearm into a fan and pushed him down. Did the guy sort of take a dive? Did it look a little bit too, floppish, as they would say? Absolutely. But a player cannot be putting a forearm to a fan.
No, you can't do that.
And
You
pushing
can't.
them down.
You can't have that. And I think there's too many. We've seen some of these incidents where, and social media is so relevant these days that you see more and more of it, and you kind of think, did this happen back then when we were watching sports and there was no social media? And I'm not sure. I just think there's so many players these days that are either too sensitive or they think that a fan is going to attack them, and they're always, they feel like there's a target on their back. And they do it to themselves most of the time. But at the end of the day, you're exactly right. Players can't be putting their hands on fans. They cannot be doing it.
It's also the fault of the NBA in general, because those damn fans are way too close to the game.
Correct.
Those fans are actually sitting in between the scorers tables and right to the right of the teams and right to the left of the teams.
Sure.
Those are the biggest ticket dollar seats in the whole place, but they're basically in the game.
Right.
Those fans should not be that close to the actual gameplay.
But what you don't want to see is you don't want the NBA to change, because that's the whole experience with the NBA. But should the NBA look into it if events like this continue to happen, where players or fans are interrupting the game with nonsense like this? Then yeah, it's going to be disappointing. And the only thing it hurts is, it doesn't hurt the player, it hurts the fan at the end of the day. For the whole experience of it, it's disappointing. But I feel like you're right. I think they're going to look into this and start to examine and say, you know what, maybe these fans are too much a part of the game, and maybe we need to avoid these incidents, because at the end of the day, it's a black eye for the league. It's a black eye for professional sports. Anytime a player puts his hands on a fan, it's just not a good optic. It's not.
Well, and all he got is a fine from the NBA. But
that's it.
I don't know, Pete. I think he should have been. I understand they gave him a flagrant foul last night, but I think he's got to be either thrown out of the game or suspended for a game. But that's just my opinion on it. I want you to really take a look at it from a couple different angles, Pete, and slow it down a little bit if you get a chance. But really look into it, and the next time that you're on, I'll give you a call and we can discuss more in detail.
All right. Sounds good, my friend. Anything else here on the Evolution?
No, the show's been great. I've been listening on and off throughout the night. And it's you guys did a really nice job tonight.
Hey, man, appreciate you. As always, Travis Feely of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, my Tampa Bay Lightning insider, and, of course, around the NFL insider here. We're going to be back on Thursday night for the schedule release, so definitely join us then. All right, my friend?
Okay, another quick thing. And NHL is just dying right now with the Panthers sitting there and about to sweep the Maple Leafs. They were really, seriously, though, Carolina versus the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals, if it plays out like that, that'll be a ratings disaster.
Well, I think everybody will be getting behind the Panthers at the end of the day. But again, a lot of hockey fans anticipated New York this year with the moves they made at the trading deadline. You anticipated maybe Tampa in there, Toronto with the great story. Even the defending Stanley Cup champions from last year, Colorado, was out of it. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. Seattle Kraken, do you think they have a chance to make the Stanley Cup final?
I don't know about the Stanley Cup Finals, because they might run into a buzzsaw and Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid with the Oilers. If the Oilers get through, because that team right now seems like a team of destiny, especially the way the playoffs have broken down, with the teams coming out of the East, and, some of the upsets already with Colorado losing and out in the West, and with what Seattle is actually doing with Vegas and with Dallas. Obviously, with playing Dallas right now, there'd be another huge upset. But, they're led by heart and hustle and Yanni Gordon. Whenever you're getting great goaltending, anything can happen. Just look at what's going on with Florida. Without the goaltending, man, that guy's just been playing out of his mind. But once again, Yanni Gord leaves the Lightning, and what happens? Seattle turns into a winner and is still playing in the playoffs. And unfortunately, the Bolts lose 3 heartbreakers in overtime on some deflections and some unlucky bounces. But that's the way the cookie crumbles in the NHL and in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It really is, and I think it's bittersweet for a lot of Lightning fans because as disappointed as they are that the Lightning have been eliminated, you also have to be happy for the successes of a Palat who's doing well with New Jersey. You could have used him in those OT games. We've seen it over and over again before. I don't even think it gets to OT. Palat's in that lineup. And then, of course, you talk about Gord, who is definitely heart and hustle at the end of the day. But happy for those guys. Hopefully they continue to do big things for their respective teams. Travis Faley, thanks a lot for the time here on The Evolution, my friend.
Well, thank you for the time very much, Peter Blake, in the Sports Web.
All right, man. We'll see you on Thursday night.
Talk to you, brother.
All right. My professional voice there, Sometimes I am professional here on The Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll read the rest of these comments, and then we'll get out of here. Awesome show, and 2 Giant Goop Balls. They are part of EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Great comment, as always. Mr. Andrew Davis. Check out his podcast, 2 Giant Goop Balls. Definitely want to get reaction from him on Thursday night. More than welcome to come on and talk about the Giants schedule. Everybody looking forward to it. Even though it's a schedule release, you're just that far away from the start of the National Football League season. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And fans of the sports web and Tampa Bay sports fans in general, it's your time. Have a great night.